Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good evening, baseball fans. It is Bourbon and Baseball Astros edition. If you are here live, I apologize that we're late. Very sorry. I'm Susie. That is Tom over there. We are waiting on Keith. Apparently, we're having some technical difficulties. That's my fault. I was on an Angels podcast. We can blame the Angels because they're just the Angels. Anyhow, cheers, Tom. I apologize again for being late. I'm very sorry about that. When Keith comes in, we will get Keith up here in the studio. I don't even know what this is called. I'm very professional over here. That's what we do here. Yeah. So anyhow, am I on crack or did the Mets get Griffin Canning? The Mets got Griffin Canning, right? Like they traded the Braves for. Okay,
I believe so.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
Let me double check that so we're not just saying that.
Hi, Tay Tay. Hello, Mike. Happy hump day to y'all. So,
yes.
So Griffin Canning on the Mets now, yes?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And doing decently well, right? I mean, I will ask Keith as well when he comes on.
He went 2-1 with a 1.88 ERA, 14 and a third innings pitched, 11 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, gave up a homer, 22 Ks, which is a big number, with a 1.116 whip.
Yeah, them some good numbers. Them is some good numbers. So on the Angels podcast, they're like, yeah, we got rid of Griffin Canning, and I wanted to be all, isn't Griffin Canning doing like really well with the Mets now? But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't have the numbers, and I wanted to be like, is it a you? Is it a you problem? I don't know.
It's always been a you problem with the Angels. Everyone goes away and plays better. That's why a lot of people are speculating that the Astros could take a look at Mickey Moniak.
Where our outfield is too crowded as it is. What are we doing here? We got third baseman being right fielders. We got second baseman being left fielders. I got a center fielder out there that's got a noodle arm. I don't. Okay, what are we doing? Ay.
You know it. One more sleep. Yes, it's like Christmas Eve for me. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I want to see actual games that matter. Actual games that matter
to us.
Yeah.
There are actual games that matter. Susie pointed out our last podcast. There are baseball games that happen that count for standings and points and fantasy points. They don't exist to me. My Astros didn't play. Can't count them. Nope, can't do it.
Speaking of which, I need to set up my fantasy lineup.
Guess who's got 1, 2, and 3 of the Astros rotation? This guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I do not. I think I have Hunter. Do I have Hunter? No, I don't have Hunter. I have Spencer on one of my teams.
They just kept falling to me. It was like, how do I not take these guys? If y'all aren't going to take them, I mean, they're going to get the ball every 5th day. Those guys are pretty good about staying healthy. Why not play all 3 of them? You like Spencer as like a dark horse Cy Young. So
yes.
How would I not want Framber and Hunter to go with him?
I literally have a Spencer rotation. I have Spencer Strider, Spencer Schwellenbach, and Spencer Arrighetti.
That's a lot of Spencer.
That is a lot of Spencers. I should just name my team Spencer.
Hey!
Keith! What's up? You're muted. You have to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you.
Sorry.
There you go.
He is.
My bad. What's going on, guys?
It's like you don't have your own show that you do these lives for. Like what the actual fuck? Come on now.
Totally get it. Typical of me. I don't know. Today's just been a long day of talking baseball. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on. Sorry about that. What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
Tank.
Ready for tomorrow.
What's up, Tank?
Ready for
Hi,
tomorrow.
Armand.
I'm excited, man. I think tomorrow's going to be so much fun for both of us, It's just
all right.
It's a great day.
So now that we are all 3 here, Keith.
Yes.
If I was a better host, I would have come up with like a badass like intro, but I'm not. And so I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, who obviously you represent, all that fun stuff, and where they can find you.
Yeah, man. So first off, thank you for the invitation. But if you don't know, I am Keith from the Shea and Sons podcast. Big Met fan, resident of New York City. You can find me at Shea and Sons on YouTube and on X or Twitter, whatever we're calling it. But
we call it Twitter over here because we're old. So.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like just a big Met fan and just love baseball more than anything, more than being a Met fan. So I'm just excited to finally get underway and just put this horrible, horrible winter behind us.
What do you mean horrible winter, sir? Your team got Juan. Like, what are we doing here? Your team got Juan Soto. What are we doing?
No, I said that wrong. So like, I mean, in the sense like, forget about like what we did, like, and just in baseball in general, like just waiting things out, like that. Gotcha. Nobody deserves that. No fan. And then there's some fan bases that didn't get anything. So I actually, it's funny. I'm just randomly going into this. I actually think this is one of the worst off seasons for baseball in general for everybody. Like, it wasn't fair to a lot of teams. It wasn't. I'm a Met fan, and I'm like acknowledging, like well, all right, we did our bidding. We did which is great, and I am so thankful for it. But like, I feel bad for a Marlins fan. I feel bad for a Rockies fan. Like, their owners didn't do anything. Pirates.
Do we feel bad for our Rockies friends? Like they just don't know what they're doing.
True.
Okay.
But baseball needs more activity, like they need it's a need. Like, you guys do well. You guys handle your business in a way that it's perfect for the Astros, right? If I was to ask you, like, or I probably, if I was to ask a Pirates fan, they'd probably not even know what's going on at any moment. It's kind of crazy,
I do feel bad for Pirates fans. Fans, I do actually feel bad for. Marlins fans, they're in a rebuild. Just it's not going to look good.
I actually don't feel bad for Marlins fans. They have 2 rings in my lifetime. I don't feel bad for them at all. They'll be okay.
That's before baseball season. Those don't count. So,
but yeah, like, I just feel like like this, like. Look, Alex Bregman signed like a month ago, and the offseason's been like 6 months. Like, that's kind of crazy, But that's a conversation for another time, though. But that's what I meant by a horrible offseason. I think for the sport, but for you guys, for us, and other like well-known teams that actually care about winning, it was a great offseason.
Hey, so fun fact: a little birdie told me that apparently the Nolan Arenado, the veto. Apparently we were going to send McCullers and Ronell over to the Cardinals.
Thank God you didn't do that.
For Nolan Arenado.
Thank God you didn't do that. You're fine.
In what world? What are we talking about here? I didn't get any.
I probably would have been okay with sending Lance. There's like 8 starters right now. Garcia's going to come back. I probably would have been okay with sending Lance. I get sending Ronell kind of because he's older. Not that I would ever want to do it, but he's older. So it's like you got younger guys. They like this kid Gusto. They've got some other guys that are kind of coming up through the system they kind of like. Maybe you do it that way, and then you kind of reset your cap, because the Astros, like you pointed to, Keith, have been really good about not overextending. Like, okay, we're gonna go to a point, and then we're not gonna go there. And you would have been able to get out from under Lance's contract, which a lot of people like to remind Astros fans about Lance's contract because he hasn't pitched. And then Ronell's probably gonna get paid. I think he's gonna get paid. So then you don't have to pay him, and you kind of keep the ball rolling. But I wouldn't have wanted Nolan Arenado when you look at what they were able to do after that. Like, early game, it worked out.
You guys made out. I think you guys made out better than what a lot of people are assuming. I really do think you guys. I know Kyle Tucker is a dude. I know he's a dude. But I don't see many teams getting what you guys got back for Rental, and I'm being serious. Like, Rentals is hard. First of all, you got a future possible cornerstone player who's already on the roster, one, and you got a guy who his floor is a Bregman floor on a bad year. That's not bad. In that park, pull hitter. I'm sorry. Like, not many teams get away with that, especially with the prospect.
Oh yeah, no. you take the fan hat off of Susie, and I 1000% understand it. The baseball Susie totally understands it, and we made out like freaking bandits out here,
Absolutely.
and so yes, 1000%, I get it, I understand. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. So.
What does it? Hear me out. I know this is like fantasy talk. Would you be shocked if he does not sign in Chicago and says, I want to go back to Houston, and it's not as expensive as what everybody makes it out to be? It could happen. I mean, look at what if it's like an opt-out laden deal, right? And, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of guys aren't going to be making the buckets of money that they assume they're going to make because these guys kind of messed it up. But, yeah, we'll get into that later. But I don't know. What if Tucker comes? I don't see him in Chicago long term at all.
Listen, there's a 1% part of Susie's brain that is hoping and wishing and praying that him and Dana have a handshake deal. That he's just like, Dana's like, hey, Tuck, here's the plan. You go to Chicago for 1 year. We're gonna get these 3 players back. And then after all of this money comes off the books, then we got room. Then we got room to sign you.
I would do it. Hell yeah.
So you just go, we're sorry that you got to be there for a year because it's Chicago, whatever, but it's the Cubs. And then we just bring you on back. There's like a 1% part of Susie that just
I think there's more. I think it should be higher than 1%. I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
That's what I want to happen. It's not going to happen because Jim Crane is not going to pay Kyle Tucker the money or the years that Tuck is going to require.
Money coming off the books.
I love the optimism by both of y'all. I really do. I just can't see a scenario where he doesn't. Obviously, no one's making Soto money. We're just going to say that no one's making Soto money.
I agree.
But half of that, Tucker should get half of that.
Of course.
At the very least.
And I think Vladdy might get half of that. So, and I know you're not necessarily I wouldn't say that not necessarily a Vladdy guy, but should he make that kind of money? I don't know. But there's going to be teams that are going to go, look, we need to do something, the Yankees, that will make them spend some money on one of those guys. I don't know which one. One of those guys.
You guys know Kyle Tucker better than me. He don't look like a big city kind of guy, right? No, I don't see him in like New York. I don't know. Am I crazy? He looks like a real quiet, like I don't know. I feel like Texas to me makes so much sense for him. I don't know.
That's the thing though, because he doesn't have that personality. He doesn't have that persona, but what's that saying? Still waters run deep. Is that the thing? Okay.
So.
He's got the personality in the clubhouse. He's got a real dry sense of humor.
Love that.
He was a clubhouse DJ. And so when he left, we're like, who's got the aux now? Like what's happening? So he's that kind of quiet leadership that's not he's gonna show you what he's gonna do on the field. He ain't gonna talk about it. He's just gonna be about it.
Like a Freddie Freeman kind of vibe.
Yep. But less quiet even. I mean, it's gonna take a lot for Kyle Tucker to bat flip.
Well, I mean,
that's when
you guys actually love learning about other teams through other fans. Who was the voice? What was it, Bregman?
Yeah.
So like now that he's also gone, who do you think steps into that role for you guys?
Christian Walker.
Really?
It's really been.
He's kind of quiet too, right? Isn't he kind of? What about like? Isn't it like a perfect time for like? Again, this is an outsider, but like this is like the Jordan era, right? Like I know he doesn't talk, but Tucker didn't talk, right? Like this is Jordan, isn't it? Like the baton. It feels like it's. I feel like you guys. I gotta give y'all credit. I'm blowing a lot of smoke up your asses, but you guys. I say this all the time. You guys do it the best. You pass the baton better than anybody. You really do. You really do.
Well, but I mean, it's always kind of been Jordan, but Jordan doesn't want to be. Jordan doesn't want to do the interviews. Jordan doesn't want to be the face. Jordan's kind of like Rafi in that sense that he wants to play ball and he wants to go home. He'll answer some of the questions. He'll do some of the interviews, but he don't want to be the HEB spokesperson. So I mean, really, it's now kind of moved. Like Jeremy Pena has kind of moved into that role.
Good. That's good. That's a good sign.
Unfortunately, Mauricio Dubon also is in that role too. Don't shake your head. Yes, it is, Tom. As much as we don't want to admit it, yes, it is.
I don't think he is from a national perspective. Yes. From inside, Julia Morales is going to go find Doobie every time. That's our sideline lady. She's going to go find him. They have a thing. They go back and forth. Dubon and Jordan, they're like best buddies. So he's like the speaker for Jordan. Jordan's not a big talker. The shortstop position, I mean, obviously, it's a leadership role. Like throughout all of baseball, it's always a leadership role. The manager, Joe Espada, came out and was like, look, I think this is the time for Jeremy Pena to step into that. He's built like a brick shit house. He can definitely look the part.
His biceps are bigger than my fucking head, people. Okay. Like just aye.
How do you guys feel about like him like being in this new role and also putting it on putting the product on the field? Because like Bregman, like I have so much respect for Alex Bregman and I have mad respect for Kyle Tucker. Like those are really big shoes. So it's like I like that this kid is stepping up to the plate because he also had to fill in for Correa. So like he has already felt like pressure, I guess you want to say. So like now it's like another evolution for the kid. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about that?
He had a monster spring. So
good.
That's one of those things like Joe kind of instilled that confidence, I think, because he came out early and said, this is a guy I'm looking to maybe become a focal point, a speaker, a leader, and he's balled out all spring. So I think you couple those two things together, as long as he doesn't start off slow, I think that's something that, he might be when ESPN, who I don't necessarily love, when they look for somebody to like advertise, it might be Jeremy Pena. They don't really do a whole lot with Tuve, even though they should. Jordan doesn't necessarily get the love. I can't remember the beat writer for the Yankees, but he was talking about like the clubhouse vibe. I can't remember. I want to say Grandy, but that doesn't feel right. It was another guy. Maben. Right. It was Maben. It was Maben. And I know he's not a Yankee guy, but he kind of is a Yankee guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, they're going to be struggling for star power, talking about the Cam Smith thing. And I tweeted at him and I'm like, how do you forget about Jordan Alvarez?
Oh my God.
Like he was talking about they were struggling for
somebody. But that's just it though, it's because they don't they don't see Jordan in the press. They don't see Jordan doing the media things. So Shay, what's up, Shay? Says, what about Yainer Diaz taking more of a leadership role? Within the clubhouse, yeah, for sure. However, he's still in that whole, he speaks mainly Spanish. He's getting better at his English, but he speaks mainly Spanish. And so, unfortunately, unless the interview is going to be in Spanish, they've got to translate. And so that's another
you guys
block, I guess.
Recently he did he was on like a Dominican podcast and he gave like his whole backstory and how like the Astros like approached him and it's actually a really good listen. I know it's probably hard if you don't know Spanish. I know YouTube has the closed captions, but like if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's really good. Like the Astros were like not effing around with this dude. They were like, yo, we're signing you. And then his brother's actually pretty good too, apparently. So, but like there was another, I think Cleveland was like fucking around and they weren't really about it. And then you guys said, nope, we want him. Boom. Got him.
Well,
really cool. He has mad respect for your organization. He spoke very highly about you guys.
Well, we traded for Yainer Diaz. Mm-hmm. We got Yainer Diaz for Phil Maton.
So yeah, I think it was like a tryout.
No.
Straw. It was Miles Straw. But we traded away Miles Straw, and we got Yainer Diaz and Phil Maton back in that trade from the Guardians. And so
that's what
at the time, I was all, what's happening? Like, who is Yainer Diaz? Like, why, and then that season is when Phil Maton like made his move and came into the bullpen and, was the Iceman and all that. So, but then, Yainer came up and did his thing, unfortunately, behind Maldi and, never really got the run that he really deserved. So, at this point,
good player, man.
It's it's going to take, I don't want to say a couple more years of playing. I think it's just going to be more of the like learning English and, you know, being vocal in English, because, you know, the boy's got merch now. So, you know, he's rocking it. Hence why I want to lock him up now. But no, nobody wants to listen to Susie.
Very good hitter. Very good hitter.
Keith, I got a question. Before you came on, I know you were working through some things. Susie was asking about Griffin Canning. She came from an Angels podcast, and they were like, "We got rid of Griffin Canning," and he's like, "He's a Met now." And they were like, "How was his, you know, his spring? His spring was really good." So talk to us a little bit about Griffin Canning. Where does he slot in your rotation? What does that look like? I mean, clearly y'all have some stuff that y'all are working out there too with some injuries.
I'll give you the full rundown. When we signed Griffin Canning, I considered like calling like a depression hotline right off rip. Thought about it, didn't do it, you know, regained myself, and I went into just absorbing Griffin Canning with an open mind. And he was actually the second pitcher at camp. So off rip, I like that. I was like, okay, you know, you had a rough go past few years, and all I kept hearing about him was he gives you innings. He gives you innings. And David Stearns has a really firm philosophy about having an army rather than like one or two aces, right? So it's very interesting, the dynamic with him, because we've come from a past of having like, you know, like 2, 3, 4 horses, and then just seeing how the rest folds out. Now we're still in the evolution of David Stearns, but it's starting to really make a lot of sense where he identifies a guy who he can work on his strengths and highlight them to an extent where he can get the best out of them, you know, really make him into a new pitcher and still carry some of those flaws, but hide them. So that's something he identified with Griffin Canning, which I didn't see at first. I kid you, I was doing the typical fan thing, and I saw an ERA near 6, I think, or 7. And it was just like, oof, this is really bad. But now I'm starting to realize what he saw after the spring. Now the spring's over. He had a dazzling spring. He was fantastic. You could argue Griffin Canning might have been our best pitcher in the spring behind Clay Holmes. He even was so good. He got nicknames like Whiffin Canning because he's whiffing batters. I call him Gryffindor. He's all over the place. And he has now, I believe he now has like a 7-pitch mix. Well, the problem that he ran into in his time with the Angels is that he had a really, really bad fastball. It was just getting dinged up left and right. Yordan Alvarez has multiple home runs off that fastball. Like those, he just annihilated him. So what did he do? He came into the spring. He learned a different kind of changeup. He learned a different kind of cutter. He's also worked on his sweeper. So he's just magnified other things he's never knew he had with what we're identifying with some of these pitchers. He also wasn't slated to be in the rotation, but we do have a few injuries. So Sean Manaea is on the shelf. He should be back mid-April. We got Frankie Montas on the shelf. He should be back around May. So ideally, he was in the battle for like the 6th spot. We were going to go 6-man. And because now 2 soldiers went down, we went back to a 5-man. And he's locked in in the rotation probably for the whole month of April. And if he runs away with the job, Frankie Montas is going to have to pitch his lights out, because I kid you not, man, I was very much against Griffin Canning. And now I'm like, Griffin Canning, you have to start. Like he's impressed me enough that I'm like, it doesn't bother me if he goes like into the rotation right away. And he's pitching Sunday against you guys. So I'm looking forward to him just not running into trouble with Yordan, and we'll go from there. You know, that's all I'm worried about, really, because that man terrifies me. What a fantastic baseball player he is. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing. When the Braves traded for Griffin Canning, because that was that the Jorge Soler trade?
Yeah, and then they DFA'd him right off the
rip. Okay, but the fact that the Braves picked him up, as soon as the Braves picked up Griffin Canning, I said, "Oh my God, Griffin Canning is going to win the Cy Young. Like, and Cy Young, the Braves are gonna fix him and watch. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Because like Tom said in the chat, like, I wanted to fix him. I wanted Reed Detmers from the Angels. I still think if Reed Detmers was not on the Angels, he would be a badass.
Did you hear the news about him? Did you hear the news about him?
That they stuck him in the fucking bullpen. I'm all, you don't want him to be like, what are you doing?
That guy is pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's the Angels, by the way. Maybe he looked at his cell phone in the dugout. So I don't know.
I don't know. So I don't know what the Angels are doing, but I told the Angels podcast, listen, if Yusei Kikuchi can stay the Astros version of Yusei Kikuchi and not revert back to the Blue Jay version of Yusei Kikuchi, then I will say, okay, Angels, maybe you do know what you're doing. But if Yusei Kikuchi reverts back and is, like a mids 4, high 4 ERA, like, it's not the pitcher, guys. It's not the pitcher. Like, the pitcher has something to do with it, but it's really the organization at that point.
You guys got the best out of him. Toronto doesn't know how to develop pitching. No offense. It's just true. He went to a winning organization. You guys clearly know what you're doing. And then he signs with the Angels. Man, God bless him. He got his money. That's all that matters, right? God bless him.
We will never begrudge players for going and getting their bag. And so by all means, you say you go get that bag. But when the Angels signed Tyler Anderson a few years back, like when the Dodger, his contract was up with the Dodgers, I was all, that's not gonna be a good look. Like, Angels were all excited about it. I'm like, it doesn't really matter though, guys, because he's not gonna do that for you.
Yeah. I just don't know what they're doing over there. Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree.
But I have other questions for you though, Keith, because as you said, Manai went down, Montas went down. Kodai Senga, where's his progression?
So this is probably my only worry really coming out of camp, because all the other injuries they're really minor. They're nothing's torn. No one's had surgery. No one. I mean, Francisco Alvarez had a little minor procedure done, but it was nothing to the extent it's like he won't be able to be himself when he comes back. So there's nothing that has jeopardized anyone's season. But Kodai Senga is technically not hurt, but Kodai Senga started his program later than normal. Reasons? We don't know, but the Mets are very cautious with him. And the reason why the Mets are cautious with him is because he had a number of injuries last year. It wasn't just like the arm. He had the calf injury and so on and so forth. So immediately going into this offseason, most Met fans and then the Mets organization then kind of laid out that we will go to a 6-man to preserve him, to keep him. Now, oddly enough, the conundrum was a few of the other pitchers were like, well, we like 5-man rotation because we're used to our schedule. So that's where most fans, just go to a 6-man. It's so easy. It's really not, because these pitchers are like creatures of habits. They know they have to pitch on that day. They know they have to pitch, and they throw them off schedule. It just messes it all up. So they were planning to do it, and they were planning it from way before spring. And they get into spring and you don't see him for a while. He's throwing in the backwoods and backfield, and he's eventually going to pitch, but you don't know. And then he finally pitches, and then he pitches good. And it's like, whoa, all right. Then he pitches bad. It's like, oh, okay. Then he pitches good. And we're like, oh, and then you don't see him again. And they're like, yeah, he's going to go on the 5th turn of the rotation. Okay. So clearly you guys don't want him to pitch a lot in April. But then Montas and Manaya go down. So now they're like, well, bud, you're going to have to pitch a little bit. So I think the Mets they gambled with chance, right? And they wanted a lot of pitchers. They wanted to load up on 7 arms, maybe 8, including some organizational arms. And they figured, okay, if we could get through spring with 6 of the 8, we can do the 6-man rotation. Well, what happened? They got through spring with 5 out of the 8. And one of the 5 they got through with is the one that they want to be the most delicate with. So it's almost like we got through spring with technically 4 arms out of the 5. I mean, out of the 8, which is just a little bit of a hyperbole take. But I think that he's going to be it's been confirmed he's on a pitch count. He's on an innings limit early on. I don't know if it's like going to last through the second half of the season, but the Mets are known. This is like a well-known fact. The Mets are like super, super, super anti-pitch count and innings limit. They are very much against that frame of thought. They don't want pitchers to overthink. Oh, I got 3 more innings in another week. I can't continue. They don't want pitchers to have that frame of mind. They want you to just go freely, and they want to know how your body feels, blah, 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 all that same hoopla. When I hear that the Mets are putting him on a pitch count, putting him on an innings limit to start the season, it's like, okay, this whole rotation, this whole winter is to preserve Kodai Senga, and it started off rocky. So there is concerns. There's absolutely concerns. It's very typical of my organization, which I'm not really complaining about, is to turn him into the back of the rotation so he goes up against Miami. Rather than going up against Houston. He has a lot of success in Miami, pitches well in Miami. Weaker lineup, and it also, right. There's a few days off. You get to skip a turn or a day and so on, and it just preserves him, because once we get through you guys and we get through Miami, we come home for a series with Toronto, and then we play 14 days straight with no days off. So
at home or away?
On the road. We got to go to the A's. Okay. We got to go to Minnesota. So they are just dying to get through that road trip. They keep talking about that road trip. I am assuming that road trip is probably when it's done, is when we get Manaea back. And I think then the rotation will start to maybe get its feet. So that's the rocky roller coaster with Kodai. He's actually pitched good, though, which is crazy. I don't know. They're very worried. They make me worried, but with my own 2 eyes, I saw him have really one bad outing. It was a bad outing. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was bad. But the other 2 are like, okay, then it makes you think he's okay, right? So they see something. The Mets, they try their best to play like James Bond, but when you could, I'm sure you guys have it with your organization. You kind of see right through the BS sometimes. So that's pretty much what's going on really with Kodai.
Okay, so you've got Game 1 starter, Clay Holmes.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, outside the organization, I know Mets fans are thrilled with Clay Holmes' success and all his spring training numbers.
Yes.
How confident are you that this is going to translate over a full season?
I am so thrilled for this guy. Through the moon. Many reasons. One, Yankees stink. That's like one. I genuinely want him to just shove it up their ass. So I just truly, that's really what the real reason is. I've always actually been a fan of him. I've always felt that he wasn't a closer, and I always felt the Yankees just mishandled him. A lot of Yankee fans will like to remind you that they have the best bullpen coach and the best blah, 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 but then they'll tell you how much Clay Holmes sucked, but all this bullshit. And I'm like, listen, that guy, first of all, that guy is built like a giraffe. He has the just insane wingspan. So, taller pitchers, longer arms, a little bit more intimidating. He has insane wicked movement. I love that he's added about 2 more pitches. He has revved up his arm in a way that it's almost inspiring to see how he is so determined to be a starter. I have been begging this organization to get with the times in ways that other organizations get with the times, right? So Reynaldo Lopez, Garrett Crochet, Corbin Burns, and the list goes on and on of all these relievers converted into starters that tend to find much more success. It is becoming more common. Will I say it's very common? No, because I think it's a very difficult task. But some guys also are just mentally put together in a way that others aren't, right? So some guys, they just don't have it for the 9th inning. That 9th inning is no joke. It's probably the most stress-filled inning. You probably don't even need to have your best stuff. You just got to be mentally ready. Clay Holmes is a guy, he's just built to all right, I could get through this wave, right? And then I'll come back and get him in the next turn. You can't do that in the 9th inning. He's just built that way. So his mindset is built like a starter. His stuff is built for a starter. The length is the question. So it's so funny how the Mets are so concerned with Kodai. but they have no reservations with Clay. They have zero, absolutely none. There's even talk about him touching the 150 innings mark, which is outstanding. Wow. Yeah, it's outstanding. They have progressed him to the point where they're like, the floor is 140. And I'm like, wow, I thought we would maybe get 100 innings. They're talking 140. They're very confident. I'm very excited. I'm actually more excited for his really, really bad outing, which I hope is not tomorrow. I'm really excited for his first really bad outing because I think that's when you really kind of put this experiment to the test, because then the rebound is where you really examine if he's built to be a starter, right? My biggest, like, what I'm laying all my morals on is that the pitching coach that we have, Jeremy Hefner, has really, really been able to kind of guide guys through a season the right way. So what he's done in the past is he's been able to get the best out of them at the right moments. You would think that maybe we wouldn't have the best start of the season last year with a lot of guys. Like, obviously we started our 0-5, the whole story everyone knows, but there was a lot of games where I'd say up until like almost the middle of May, we didn't even touch the 6th or 7th inning with a starter. We went the whole April and half of May. No one touched the 6th or 7th inning. When we finally got to that point, a lot of guys were like kind of starting to get their arms warmed up and so on and so forth. And it was all by design. It was all by design. So I wouldn't be shocked if Clay Holmes is successful in 4 innings and they pull him early. It would just be kind of the plan for him. And I think that they are very, very much thinking about like August and September with almost every arm that they have in the rotation. But I'm excited. I think he has really great stuff. He has a little success in Houston. I wouldn't say much. I mean, he was a reliever, so you can't really It's not the same. But I think this is a great test. He's on the road. He's up against a good lineup. You know, it's going to be loud. Let's go. Now, you want to be a starter? Show us you can start.
Well, you know what I think it is, Keith? Hats off to the Mets organization, pitching coaches, all that stuff. But you know what I truly think it is? It's the facial hair. It's the beard.
Well, apparently now can I touch on that real quick? Because we both hate, those idiots in the Bronx. So we grow beards. Shout out to my bearded brother right above me. And we have baseball players who rock really dope beards, right? So they changed this rule that's been like 1,000 years old in the Bronx, which really technically was a rule. It was not tradition. So don't let these Yankee fans lie to you. It was a rule. They change it, and like half of them are like, I'm not growing a beard. They're captain. They're big old, 7 foot tall, Reptar bar captains. Like, I don't need to grow a beard. I'm Aaron fucking Judge. All right, well, fuck you, bro. All right, 1, relax, and 2, a lot of guys don't want to go there because of the beard. And now you're like, yeah, we're better above that shit. Get out. So, Susie, I agree. It is the beard. And a lot of guys, I think my buddy up here would agree, when their beard looks good, they feel good. So it's true.
Like
100%. It's like you with your nails and your hair. It's the same shit.
Like, you feel good, you play good. I like that they made Devin Williams shave his beard that he'd grown for like 6 years or whatever, and then they're like, just kidding. Devin Williams, you can have that back now. I'm all, what's happening?
They saved that man's love life. Let's just put it like that. Oof.
I'm too old for aura. I know that's like a new thing now, but I'm serious. If there was anything that screamed aura, it's having your beard, having that thing groomed. Yes. You can't tell me that Garrett Cole is not a different dude without the beard. You can't tell me that.
I love that point. I love that point.
And to your point about the captain, that dude has no problem growing facial hair in the offseason.
What the fuck, man?
Exactly.
Yeah. They're so full of shit. Oh my God. Sorry, Tom. I'm continue. Sorry.
You're good. No worries. But you know what I mean? Like, that's a thing. And you can absolutely see it. Marwin Gonzalez, ex-Astro legend, Marwin Gonzalez, went there, shaved his whole beard off. People disowned the guy. Like, look, I can't rock with you no more, bro. You need a beard ASAP. Your face looks awful. And that's just,
what's so funny is that, like, once they announced the rule change, right? They were like, we're getting this demon back, and it's a picture of Garrett Cole with a beard in an Astros uni. I'm like, you fuckheads! Like, are you dumb? What are you doing? Do you not understand what you just posted? Like, this is the fuck. Anyways, but yeah, it's just they're fucking stupid. Sorry,
but yeah,
at least we're common ground with that shit.
Yes, it's the beards. It's the beards. So we went over game 1 starter.
Yeah.
Game 2 starter and game 3 starter. Is that in what order? Tyler McGill.
We're going McGill game 2, and we're going House Gryffindor game 3.
Was it David Peterson at some point, and did that change, or was it always Griffin Canning?
So, because Griffin Canning and McGill got to camp early, they earned earlier turns in the rotation.
Okay.
Because they both wanted, because at the time when camp was, you have camp and then you have like kind of pre-camp, but they don't really announce that it's mandatory.
Right.
So McGill and Canning both got there because they did not have guaranteed spots because of the Montas signing and the announcement of Clay Holmes being a starter. So those 2 rotation spots immediately were filled, right? And then you got Peterson, Senga, and then Peterson and Manaea, right? So there's 2 spots that are open. They signed 2 pitchers, and then you had an organizational pitcher in McGill, and then you signed another one in Canning. So that's 4 guys for 2 spots. 2 of them went down, and those 2 guys who were there early, they got the early turns in the rotation.
Gotcha. Okay. So when everybody's back and healthy, number 1, who's the number 1? Is it Manaea? Is it Clay Holmes now? Like, is it Senga?
I actually had to explain this to a Met fan today. It's pretty funny. So it's actually doper that I'm explaining it to a non-Met fan, because explaining it to a Met fan is actually really fucking annoying. Because it's like, do you not watch the fucking Mets, you idiot? But you guys are innocent, so it's fair. When it comes to the Mets, under David Stearns' tutelage, I truly believe that there is no ace, there is no first man, there's no fifth man. It's whoever is ready, revved up. That's how David Stearns wants to operate with this team as is, until he goes and gets himself a Garrett Cole, goes and gets himself a Framber, or hopefully a Sandy Alcantara, which is like a dream, but probably not going to happen. The rotation is truly, like, I wouldn't want to say next man up, but truly a committee. Okay. So because Clay Holmes was probably the best performer in the spring, they awarded him opening day starter. But if I had to tell you, let's just say the Mets are going to win the division, right? Or the Mets are going to make the playoffs, regardless if it's wild card or division, winning the division. In my humble opinion, David Peterson has to be the best pitcher on the Mets team. Has to be.
Really?
Yeah, he would have to. David Peterson has to have the best season of his career for them. I believe that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Clay Holmes will be fine, but I think David Peterson, he took a step last year where I feel like there's no reason why he cannot continue that path. And I think Kodai Senga kind of is going to be there, but not going to be better than the 2 guys I named prior. I think Manaea, I'll be honest with you, Manaea is going to be fine, but Manaea, that's going to be hard to replicate what he did last year. So he'll be serviceable. And then if you want to talk about a pitcher, I have no confidence whatsoever, and that's Frankie Montas at all. So I think I'm with you there. Yeah, that guy, I don't want to kill him because he hasn't pitched yet. He did pick the Mets organization as a home, but until he shows it to me, not really confident in him. A guy who I hate normally is kind of impressing me is McGill, but I like him now until I don't. Does that make sense? So
that's fair.
I think the fan in me, and this is probably for 90% of the fandom or the fans, you would think that they would try to acquire a starting pitcher at the deadline. They were in the mix for Garrett Crochet, but they got outbid with better prospects, which makes sense. They took the better deal. So they knew that they wanted a high-end pitcher. So I wouldn't be shocked if they're trying to go after another pitcher at the deadline. I think it's going to be tough for them. I think that this is an approach that you guys would appreciate. I think that at some point they're going to have to rely on organizational pitchers through their system. And we have two of them ready. Brandon Sprout and Blade Tidwell. And I am very big on both of them. And I normally hate my farm. So for me to like any of my kids is a big deal.
Okay. So correct me if I'm misinterpreting this, Keith, but it kind of sounds like all the pitchers that are in the rotation kind of now, you kind of feel as if maybe they're threes, like you just have an entire rotation of 3s and 4s, maybe.
Take the number and just throw it out the window.
Okay.
You could give me 5 innings, you could pitch. That's what it is. That's what it for now. It'll change probably after Memorial Day. Okay. After Memorial Day, I could tell you who's my one. Swear. All right. Honest to God.
I got a question. Based on everything you just said about your rotation and about guys being limited and guys being hurt, how do you feel about your bullpen? If you're going to tell me Clay Holmes is going to go 4 innings tomorrow, y'all are going to lean on that bullpen a ton in the next month and a half. How do you feel about this bullpen?
So wait, before you answer that, who is in your bullpen now besides Ryan Stanek?
We got a few guys.
Edwin Diaz.
Edwin Diaz, yes.
We got guys. So I at least that I can give you an order. That is more like formidable in the baseball mind. So we got a closer in Edwin Diaz. We have 2 setup guys, a lefty and a righty. We have AJ Minter, who we signed from the Braves.
Okay.
The righty, Ryan Stanek, who you could argue, a lot of Met fans in the chat would agree, he was our best postseason pitcher. He was actually better than Edwin Diaz last year. So we have AJ Minter, Ryan Stanek as 2 setup men ahead of Edwin Diaz. Middle relief, we have Reed Garrett, who was our setup man last year. He takes a step back. We also have a young kid named Max Kranick, who was a first-round pick for, I believe, Pittsburgh, and he was a starter. Now they converted him into a reliever to preserve his arm. I actually still think he could start, but I'm not the pitching coach. He could give you length. We have an organizational pitcher in the bullpen, also Jose Budo, who has history starting and coming out the bullpen. So now we got 2, 4, 6, and the closer 7. We were going to put in another starter in the bullpen named Paul Blackburn, but he's on the IL. So they also added another reliever who we got at last year's trade deadline, Huascar Brazoban. So they have arms. They actually have their bullpen like legitimately much more set than the rotation. And they have a lot of guys in the bullpen that have plenty of options. So I think that's where David Stearns is going to do the wheeling and dealing up and down the system and stuff. I think we'll see a lot of that early on, especially for like a Max Kranick or maybe Brazoban. I think one of them doesn't have options, but one of them does, something like that. So we'll see who earns their keep early on. Tom, how do I feel about the bullpen? If I had Mariano Rivera, if I had Edwin Diaz, if I had Billy Wagner all in my bullpen, I'd still be worried. I genuinely, it could be any year. As a Met fan, I am programmed to always worry about my bullpen. It's actually a strength this year. So the fan in me is always going to be like shitting bricks. But if I take the fandom out, it's actually a really good bullpen. It's probably the second best bullpen in the division, I would argue. Maybe the second. It's probably third on his birthday. It's the second best bullpen in the division.
That's cool. I asked because as we kind of felt the same thing last year. You know, you felt really good about the back end, but then it was like, how were you going to get there? And, you know, we had some young guys that pitched amazing. Spencer Arrighetti showed length. Hunter took a step. You know, Ronell was really good. So like those middle guys, you know, the bridge guys really weren't like, you know, counted on as much. I think if anything, we saw like, if you got to them sometimes they get hurt, you know. I'm talking to you, Rafael Montero Jr. But like, you know, we didn't have that where we're like, worried about innings limits. We didn't have the, you're converting a guy to a starter. So you got to feel like there's going to be some short days for him. So the long guys or a lot of those dudes are going to be counted on for 2 innings.
Oh, for
sometimes.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I just think that's really, really tough for a bullpen. It's going to be a really interesting job to see what, your skipper does as far as like managing the workload, bringing guys up, bringing guys down. The Astros were able to, do that a little bit too in their pen. And I mean, I think that's really what's going to separate y'all having a great start to just kind of being,
That's a valid point, because I have told a lot of Met fans this, and it's like it kind of goes in one year, it comes out the other. I'm like, I just don't think we have the true educational tutelage of what is coming from like David Stearns. I think if the Mets get out of April in a really good place, right, where we got 1 game over 500 or 10 games, or whatever, or 500, if they get out of it in a good place and everyone's healthy, I think the offense is going to be fine. I'm not worried about that. But I think if they get through April fine, I think that's their plan, is to preserve those starters and rely heavily on the bullpen, because their plan going into spring, which in theory, I'm on board with. It is a little complicated, but they were going with a 6-man, and they were going to have 2 out of the 3 middle relievers technically be starters. So they were going to do that in the sense where our starters on a short day don't have to stress, because the bullpen has starters in it. So Max Kranick, former starter. Jose Budo, former starter. Paul Blackburn is a starter. They were going to use Griffin Canning in the bullpen. Tyler McGill was going to be a bullpen guy. So those are like 4 or 5 names that they were planning on to eat innings in the event somebody had a short outing. Now, the dynamic changes, though, because there's 2 starters that are actually hurt already. So now you got to go back to a traditional kind of way. You got to have a guy in the middle innings, a long relief in the event you need a long relief, and you need setup guys. So some of those setup guys may have to go 2 innings. Some of those middle relief guys may have to go 2 2/3 innings. You know what I'm saying? So if they get through April, and there's a 14-day stretch that they keep like blabbering about, they're acting like we're in October already. If they get through April and everyone's healthy, and you get Manaea back, and maybe, the greatest that ever lived, Frankie Montas, comes back a little bit, then maybe the Mets can kind of start maybe step 1 of whatever they really wanted to do. And we'll see. But it's not a Mets season without a pitcher hurt. That's just how it is. The Mets cannot have baseball begin without a pitcher injury.
Hey, we as Astros fans know all about that. So, I'm not getting excited about Forrest Whitley, Tom. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Are you excited about Spencer? How do you say
Arrighetti?
I like him.
He's my sneaky dark horse Cy Young pick.
I know. You picked him in fantasy, you fucker.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that fantasy real quick, if y'all don't mind.
Sure.
Hold on. Before we do that, real quick. Shout out to the 69 of you that are watching on YouTube. Heyo. 70 now. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
So
give them a follow, man.
Have not already subscribed to the YouTubes, hit that red button. If you follow us on Instagram, on the Twitters. If for some reason I get a wild hair up my ass and I actually edit this and put it on the streaming podcast, by all means, follow that too and give us 5 stars and nice words. That would mean the world to me. But so yeah, now we can chat about the fantasy team. Teams.
So you got a lot of slack. I'm just letting you know that you've been in the inside circles. I mean, I just listen. I haven't said a word about your team because I don't play with you. You're like devil magic. A lot of people are like very, very. There's a few people that don't know what you did, and there's a few people who are like jealous of what you did. And I'm sitting there listening and watching the chat or listening to the Discord or whatever, and I'm like, I don't fuck with that woman. That woman's dangerous. Please, lead y'all gonna learn. I'm just saying. That's all. I'm just letting you know.
So real quick, for everybody that doesn't know, these two are in a fantasy baseball league.
Competitive league.
It's predominantly a Mets
male
league, right?
Well, yeah.
It's
Male
predominantly.
He's the queen of the league.
It's literally all guys and me.
Which is actually hilarious, by the way. I love that part. So it's hard to get another girl because it's like you're the queen of it, you know?
So last year, Susie took this league by storm. I lived vicariously through her. She kind of passed along, you know, the tea leaves. It got ugly. They were making rules to stop her. She was on things all the time. They had to like change how many additions she could make. Susie was on it like wet paint. And Keith, please let the people know, like, how are we going this year? I know it's just draft and things like that. Is Susie still, you know, something to deal with? Like,
I love that y'all got to figure it out. I love that you. Okay, first off, let me start by saying Susie earned everything she got last year, the good and the bad. Okay, but Susie was a beast. So let's get that out the way. If anybody thinks, she don't know, no, don't fuck with Susie. Susie, 3 a.m. picking up a reliever that you have no idea, or a bullpen, I don't know, and it works. And I'll never forget, Tom. It was like 2 days before Ronel Blanco's no-hitter, and she picked his ass up. And I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, this fucker. And she had like the crazy, I'm like, oh my God. And then from there, it was like 2 months of hell. But look, I'm not even going to get into the rule changes because we done went through that down the road a few times. There was a lot of miscommunication with that, but we finally found some common ground. Now, going into this year, we kept everything the same. We even had a meeting, Tom. We even had a meeting. And no one obliged. And I said, okay. But, Tom, because our lovely Susie, who's a super mom and also a college grad to be, very busy woman, also a photographer, also a super fan of the Astros, very busy woman, I said, she may not attend a lot of these events. So what did I do, Tom? She doesn't know this, so this is the first time she's going to hear this. I said to myself, I'm going to lay out all this because there's a lot of money in this league. There's almost more than $1,000. It's a big deal. I gave all the gentlemen the info, when to speak up, when to announce things, knowing Susie's probably like, I don't give a fuck. I'm busy. When this shit starts, tell me what the fuck I got to do, and then I'll do it because I know Susie already. So I said, all right, you fuckers, what do you want to change? Or what is it that you want to improve on, right? Slight changes. So I said, okay, cool. This is enough for Susie. Susie could probably get on board with this. My brain is operating. My job, the commissioner. My brain is operating to make sure Susie doesn't yell at me, Tom. So I'm saying, all right, cool. They were able
someone who's been yelled at by Susie a lot.
Exactly. You know better than me. So I'm saying to myself, okay, they weren't too crazy with the changes. It was almost like nothing changed. So I said, all right, Susie will be fine. We're good. We can start the year off. And mind you, Tom, she was quiet because, you know, she's doing the mom, she's doing the school, she's doing everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bother her. I'm not even going to bring anything up to her. I'm just going to let her know when the draft is, whatever. And it went that way, Tom. Tom, the second she gets into the draft, she doesn't say hello. She doesn't say a word. She gets into the fucking draft, Tom, like this. Yeah, I'm going to take this guy. Boom. Like fucking Terminator. Like fucking Terminator, Tom. Hasn't talked to me in months about shit, about fantasy. Pays the league due and says, fuck you, motherfuckers. I'm drafting this fucking guy. I don't give a fuck what you're telling. I swear, it's recorded. Swear to God. And I said, this fucker. And I'm like, you guys have there's like 4 new guys in the league. You know, they think they're talking with their stuff in their hand. They think, you watch. They tell me the other day, she took Corbin Burns early. Oh, she took Pete Alonso. I said, just because they're on her team, it's going to fucking work. You watch.
I believe it.
And she's laughing because she knows it's true.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's more competitive. You know?
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah. I thought I was bad. No, she's the worst.
Listen, in a good way. Listen, Linda. Last season, when I first asked, hey, what are the rules? How many ads and drops can I have like per week? Mm-hmm. And everyone said, I don't care. Unlimited. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's do it. Okay. I'm here. Mm. So the fact that you all changed the rules because I gamed the fucking system, then I was like, oh, I see how it is now. Like that. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to be mad because I guarantee you, If I had a dick, none of y'all would have said shit.
Well, I will say this.
None of y'all.
I need to interject right now. I will say this. She's right if she lived on the East Coast. If she lived on the East Coast, she would be right. I'm going to tell you why. Because she lives in a different time zone, a lot of fuckers are sleeping when she's doing her magic evil devil thus on the fantasy app. So she's doing her research and everything while half the league is sleeping and snoring away. But it's not her fault. I'm not blaming you, Susie. I'm not blaming you. And now this is, watch the phrase I'm about to use. It's going to piss her off. I had to give the league a competitive balance. Wow, look, she hated when I said that shit last year. She said, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? That's not the fucking rule. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yo, we have to be fair to everybody. You know what the fuck? These are the rules. You changed the fucking rules. I'm like, ah. So that's what happened. Guys were not able to get to their fantasy when they needed to, while Susie was like,
wasn't most of the league literally in New York? Aren't most of the guys in New York?
2 people were not in the East Coast. You and Shay. Shay was like in LA.
Okay.
Also, but that shouldn't matter. Susie is Las Vegas. She's the city that never sleeps. So she's ready and locked and loaded when it reloads at like, yeah.
All the time.
And I mean, a lot of guys are cool with, okay, I'll get up first thing in the morning. I'll fuck with it there. That's normal. Not Susie. No.
Everything was done by then. And you go into the app and you see Susie's team already, and they're like, and maybe it was because she didn't have a penis. But I will say this. I'll be honest with you. Once like people really started to respect like her gangsterness, nobody fucked with her. Susie, am I wrong?
It's true.
And I have been telling these fuckers, all right, you guys don't know Susie like we know Susie. I'm just saying it. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Maybe part of your story could be true. Part of it, yes. In theory, yes.
In theory, no. There's no theory about it. If I had a dick, none of y'all would have said shit. Because that's the other thing, that none of y'all complained in the thing. Like they just went to Keith and was like, this fucking bitch.
I got DMs left and right, Tom. They were like, look at Susie.
Yeah. They didn't say shit in the chat. Nope. Just all of a sudden, Keith is like, so this is what we're gonna have to do. Yep. We're gonna have to change the rules because I'm all, what the fuck? Y'all can't fucking say shit to me. You can't.
This is true.
Like if you had an issue, like you could have said, Susie, what the fuck, bro? Nope.
My coworker at work is like, yo, Susie's gonna win the league, bro. I'm fucking with Susie. Who's gonna stop her? Like every fucking day, Susie. I'm like, yo, like it's a long year. Mind you, even me, I had a great team. I got to the playoffs and my team just burnt out. She got to the playoffs. She probably could have went farther. A move or two, whatever, backfired. It's just part of baseball. You know what I'm saying? So even with all that, she still could have won the shit. Seriously, she probably should. Her team, like I'd say her team and my coworkers' team were the best team. And they both didn't win. And they both didn't even go to the championship, which is crazy. But that's fantasy, I guess.
100%.
She won $100 though. She won money. She won. She had the most points in the league.
I did.
Yeah. I believe it.
That's but that was my issue. That nobody in the chat was like, Susie, the fuck are you doing? What, like, why? What's happening here?
They were scared of you, bro. They were
scared and then all of a sudden I was like, I see how it is. You see how you just gotta change the fucking rules. You gotta change the fucking rules.
Can I ask you guys a question? This is totally left field from fantasy. Yeah. So I was considering, and like not many people were like on the same level as my eagerness. I was considering going down for the series. And I saw really good ticket prices for you guys. Is that normal? Like I saw like $80. I was like, yo, that's pretty good. I mean, because they're killing us up here in New York. So is that like normal opening day? Like, because that's pretty damn good. I was gonna go to like the first tomorrow's game and I think Saturday's game. Yeah. So because I mean maybe it's just cheaper in Houston. I don't know. I was just curious about that.
100%. I mean, it's Texas versus New York. You're paying New York prices.
Yeah,
we're
bro.
paying Texas prices. I don't even want to tell you what I paid for my ticket now that you said that, because you'd probably be really upset. I got a military discount. I'm going to get them for $10. I'm sitting all the way at the top, but I'm going for $10. So, that's the difference.
$10. $10. Oh, man. Dude.
With a chair.
Dude. I mean, it's the only negative with signing this fucking outfielder. Let me tell you. Things have gone absurd here in New York with this guy. And I'm very happy he's with us, but man, brother, I've never spent this much money on a baseball ticket. I'm like, yo, it's just one game. Like, I want to go to others. Like, shit. It's insane. No, but that's what's
you
up,
got to pay that contract.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be mainly most of us sickos. It's true. Yes, I agree. But yeah, it's hurting. It's hurting.
Yeah, I mean, the Astros have been pretty good about not really.
I thought that was really good. Yeah.
You're going to pay, what you pay for food and beer and stuff like that. That's just what you're going to pay. But I mean, as far as the ticket prices, I feel like they've been really, really good about keeping them down, making sure that they fill the ballpark and they have really good attendance.
You guys, that's what I was going to say. That's why I was like, I wanted to word it properly because it was like, one, you guys fill the park all the time. I never see a park empty. 2, it's a good team. So it's not like a shitty team that no one wants to go see. And 3, like with the economy the way it is and stuff, like I've heard that ticket prices in other towns have gone up. So I was like, what the? I was like, yo, Houston's like really doable. Like this isn't like it was the flights that kind of like deterred me away from it, which is really a lot of money. But I was like, if the flights were a lot better, I would have been in Houston right now. Honestly, it was really affordable. I was like, wow, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, it's a decent little ballpark, and like I said, now that it's renamed Daikin Park, apparently it's an AC company.
Walk me through that, please, because to me it's Minute Maid in my eyes.
Yeah, well, so Minute Maid is no longer here in Houston. Like they're based out of Atlanta, and they didn't want the naming rights anymore, and so Daikin is a big Japanese AC company but they do lots of commercial units and stuff. And so they bought the rights for 20 years. Was it, Tom? I think 20 years. Yeah.
Oh. But to be fair, the Minute Maid rights had expired. This was the end of the contract. So they didn't renew them. It wasn't like they just dropped them and picked up someone else. So
interesting. Wow. Very interesting. Huh.
Yeah. But now people shorten Minute Maid Park to, MMP, and so they call Daikin Park DP, and I'm all, I can't do it. Cannot call Daikin Park DP. Nope, it's not.
We're not doing that one.
Mm-mm. So it's the ice box. So it was, the juice box. Now it's the ice box. Hopefully,
I love that. That's actually dope. Yeah. The ice box was I like that.
Well, that depends because anybody that's been to Minute Maid and now Daikin will tell you that park is not always cold. And if you saw
but it depends on where you sit. It depends on where you sit.
It does depend on where you sit. But if you see in Ronell pitch, it can get very, very hot inside a stadium with a roof closed. So at no point in time during Minute Maid Park, the naming, did anybody feel like it was just like a cold environment. So I'm going to be really interested tomorrow. I'm sitting up at the top. If they want this name to hold weight, it should be cold up there. We'll see.
But wait, so but isn't there like I wouldn't call them wind tunnels, but you have openings in your outfield, right? It's not fully closed, right? Because isn't the train is out, it goes through, there's no cover, right?
Window panes behind the train.
Oh, I thought it was completely out. Oh, I thought there was an opening. Okay, sorry. See, I didn't know. Yeah. All right, cool.
So the roof is retractable, but behind the train, it's all glass. So it's definitely closed off.
Oh shit! I thought balls would go through into the street and shit. Oh, I never knew that.
That would be kind of cool. I think that's so cool when in San Francisco when it's into the Cove and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool. But no, they set up on the tracks.
I didn't know that. Definitely a park I want to visit. Absolutely. Yeah. I was thinking about doing it alone. Honestly, it was.
They were saying though that we had 2 exhibition games against the Sugarland Space Cowboys or AAA team, and they were saying that it was very cold in there. And now I don't know if it was very cold because there wasn't as many people and there was mild temperatures, outside. So I need to see on opening day. I need everybody to tell me on opening day if it is indeed they did fix the AC because our actual sponsor is an AC company.
I mean, is it hot right now in Houston though? Like in general?
I think it's
today
like
it got up into the 80s, but I mean that's actually kind of cool relative to what a lot of Texans will tell you, or Houstonians will tell you. Like it goes from winter when it's cold to 90 in like that. You know what I mean? And it'll stay there 4, 5, 6 months, just depends. Like we don't have seasons per se, like you have in New York. We have like,
this is actually fascinating to me. So
it's so different.
I when I played, this is not even nowhere near major league level, but when I played, I hated playing in the cold. So are the players like okay being like in a cold stadium? Oh,
nope. The players actually prefer the stadium closed because it controls the temperature per se. It'd be much hotter if they opened up the roof on a clear day. And they're like, no, we'd rather have it climate controlled. I think it also helps like the noise, but like fans here in Houston are really, really upset that they don't open the roof more. And it's actually the Astros, the players themselves, that are like, no, we like it closed.
Oh no, keep it closed then. Yeah, if the players, there's that makes mad sense.
To be fair, there's like 10 days, and 10 is being very, very fucking generous. There's like 10 days in Houston where you would not be sweating your balls off if they open the roof.
Yeah, 10. Humidity is like next level here.
So let's see. So Friday the high is 76, and there's an 80% chance of rain, and then Saturday the high is going to be 85, and partly sunny, and then Sunday the high is going to be 86.
Okay, so it's going up. Okay.
Yeah. So, within that entire weekend, you're going to have a 10-degree change.
Yeah.
With some humidity as well. So.
And what, like 40,000 people in one setting? Yeah, it's going to be hot. So you need the AC to work. Yeah, that makes sense.
But like I said, though, depending on where you sat in the stadium, will determine how much AC you got. Because there was one time I went, I had literal goosebumps. Like I was literally dying of frostbite. And then I think I moved over one section, and I like sweat was like dripping off of me. I'm all, this is cool. Fuck? Like I can't.
You don't understand how this is genuinely fascinating to me, because I have an open park. So like we have to deal with like Mother Nature, no matter what. We have no say. So when I hear this, there's been like the absurd myth fan. It's like, oh, put a roof on Citi Field. Mind you, it's actually physically impossible. You would actually have to rip down Citi Field. It's been like determined by many, many architects. We cannot put a roof on it because of the way it's built, whatever. So it's like, we just deal with what we got, right? And everyone in Metland is a fucking weatherman. It's like, oh, the weather, the precipitation. Every fucking Met fan's a weatherman. So it's like, when I hear this, I'm like, man, I'm kind of jealous. Yeah, I actually would like that. It's pretty dope.
Fun story though. We'll complain about the temperature inside inside the ballpark.
Yeah.
But then let the Astros go to Citi Field and it's raining, and Twitter will just be raining. Put a fucking dome on there. God. Put a roof on that, and then we won't have this problem.
Tom, I was at the game. I know what game you're talking. I was there 8 hours. I was at the game. You beat us in extra innings. I was there all day. And I was all day there getting soaked and just hanging out and everything. I actually had like Astro fans saying, when are you going to open the field? I was there with my buddy Ruben, the Pope. We were there like 9 hours in a park. It was insane. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I understand that frustration, though, because we New York is so shitty with the weather. Honestly, even when we're predicting good weather, you kind of have to fingers crossed because it's very unpredictable. But up here, like, it's tradition. They're gonna have the parks open. But a lot of fans up here, it's growing. Oh, if we're ever gonna do another stadium, it has to have a roof. And like the city doesn't want that. It's weird. I actually really think your situation is really cool. Very cool.
Fun fact: when I went and visited Kelsey, my
Cardinals friend, right? Cardinals.
Yes. Yep. My entire baseball watching experience had only been in stadiums. I'd only gone to what was Minute Maid, and then the Ranger Stadium also, which we affectionately call it Minute Maid Light. So
Mimic Maid.
Wait, before you continue, bias aside and hatred aside, good park, nice park.
If you've literally been to Minute Maid, if you've been to the Astros
also Stadium, they copied your shit.
It's very similar. Very similar.
Hell, that's kind of cheesy, right? Like
very similar. Yeah.
So, and I know you don't like it, but in the same way that the Yankees faithful want a little brother, the Mets, we really have that going with the Rangers. And I don't think we're to that extent, but you constantly get the back and forth.
At least both of you guys have rings. We don't have shit. We just have Grimace. Like, it's crazy.
I want Grimace so badly. Anyways, you
can't have them. Sorry, can't. You have a roof now and ACs.
When I went and visited Kelsey, because she lives in Philly now, we went to Camden and we went to Yankee Stadium. Ugh. And we went to Citizens Bank. I legitimately had to ask her.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Continue.
I legitimately had to ask her. I'm like, how do I dress? Like, do I need to wear sunblock? Are our seats going to be in the sun?
Yeah.
Like, I have to prepare for this. And she was dumbfounded. She was like, what are you even fucking asking right now? I'm all, listen, I don't think you understand. All my baseball watching experiences have been in a closed environment. Okay. Closed environment. She's like, didn't you go to Wrigley? Well, we were in the suites, so that doesn't count. Okay. We're with the common folk in regular seats. How do I dress? And
it could get really hot. Really
blew her mind. Blew her mind. And but going to Camden, I was all, oh my God. This is,
you guys got to come to City,
weather.
Man. You guys,
it's on my list.
City Field. I mean, listen. It's obviously going to sound real biased. City Field is incredible. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Met fandom aside, they turned this park. I don't know if you ever see our videos with all the lights and shit. That's this much of the experience. They've literally turned that into. You could call it a theme park almost. It's insane. The stuff you do in that park is insane.
The only reason we went to the Yankee game was because Kelsey's work got us free tickets. We went and saw a Yankee Rockies game. And legitimately, if it wasn't Yankee Stadium, if it was named anything else, it would not be iconic. People would not be like, oh my God, Yankee Stadium. Blah, blah, blah.
It's a library. It's a DMV. It's all.
When I walked in, I was so confused because everyone talked to me about, oh my God, Yankee Stadium. Blah, I'm all, what is this? This is what y'all are so excited about? I was really trying. I was like, is it my Yankee bias? Like, no, it just really kind of sucks.
One of my best friends, I would tell him and I'm like, dude, I'm telling you this without being a jerk. How the fuck do you got all those championships and you built this shithole? What the fuck happened? You should have built the best park experience in history. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I was very confused. I was very confused. But let's go. Let's come back. Let's come back to the Mets. Sorry about that, guys. Let's come back and talk about. We've talked about the pitching. Let's talk about the position players. Let's talk about your position players. And you had mentioned that Francisco Alvarez, your young stud catcher, is out. Hamate surgery. Is that what?
Yeah. He messed up his hand. Yeah. In batting practice. Yeah. Bat swing.
So when is he expected back?
He should be back around the same time as Montas in May.
Okay. And now who are your catchers now?
Now we have Luis Torrens, who filled in admirably last year when Alvarez was hurt again last year. So he's a seasoned catcher. He's actually our best thrower. His top time is probably a little slightly better than Alvarez. So he handles the rotation just as well as Alvarez. So we really didn't skip a beat. We're going to lose that power from the catching position because that's what Alvarez does bring.
Right.
But we don't really miss a beat on the other side. He's a really good defensive catcher. And then his backup is an organizational catcher, which is very rare for the Mets to do. And his name is Hayden Singer. Cool story. Not too long ago, to make ends meet while he was in minor league ball, he was working at Whole Foods. And it's a big story now in Metland. So, now us in Metland, we love nicknames. So we're calling him Whole Food Singer, So, Whole Food
I love
Singer.
a good human interest story though. Like I love those type of stories.
Yeah.
So, like I don't want to give any shine to the Yankees, but like what is that? Is it JC
Escada?
Escada, yes. Like I loved his story. I'm all
yeah.
Yankees.
That whole video was really nice too.
Yeah.
It's stuff is awesome. Even your story with Cam, it's a really cool video. I love that. But yeah, we have Hayden's Whole Food Singer and Luis Torrens at catcher.
Okay.
And it's nice. Hayden Singer actually in the minor leagues won the Platinum Glove as a catcher. So yeah, he's a good defensive catcher. He's not going to bring you anything offensively, but definitely a good defensive catcher. So we got 2 defensive catchers until Francisco Alvarez gets healthy.
Okay, and we obviously have a polar bear, Pete.
Yeah,
first
love.
base.
Yeah, big. I'm very happy Pete is back. Pete Alonso and me are like that couple that fight nonstop, but at the end of the day, like love each other. So I'm very excited. Pete is back. I'm actually more optimistic than I've ever been with Pete Alonso. He had a little bit of a quiet spring. Very normal for Pete Alonso to have a quiet spring, but it's just I think we couldn't do what we did this offseason and let him leave. It would have just looked bad on the organization. So I'm very happy he's back. So yeah, excited.
Your second baseman, is that up in the air still? Is because Jeff McNeil was
another injury
hurt? Okay.
McNeil, I believe, is a hammy, something of that nature. He actually is going to be back a lot sooner. So right now, we're doing a platoon of 2 of our young kids. We have Luis Angel Acuna.
I did see that. He did make the
team.
Yep. Okay.
Ronnie's little brother. He made the team. And Brett Beatty has developed himself into a third baseman / second baseman.
Okay.
So I believe we're going to platoon lefty righties at second base until McNeil's back. Hopefully one of these kids can steal that job because, watching Jeff McNeil isn't the most delightful baseball experience. But Brett Beatty had a 1,200 OPS in spring. He earned the right.
He had a banging spring.
He had a great spring, and that's usually the case with Brett Beatty. But I would love for him to have nice April, May, June. He could pick any one of those months other than March. It'd be nice. March isn't when we play real baseball. So I'm very excited to see this new version of him and maybe some sort of spark with Acuna. Acuna is really a stolen base kind of guy, defensive guy. He's nothing like his brother. I'll be the first to tell you that. But Beatty has the hit tools to maybe be something.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You're like the only Mets podcaster that has a Brett Beatty jersey, right?
Yeah, you know that. Thank you for knowing that. Appreciate that. That makes me one of one. But yes, that's a known fact. You want to see it real fast?
I'm not going to turn it down.
No. This is the best part about this jersey. You guys are going to laugh. Hold on.
I love this. This is gold right here.
Jersey reveal, baby.
Right? This is why you guys tune in to get live looks at this.
Not a hot take.
Katie jersey.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so good.
It's clearly in the early stages of the offseason. Brett Beatty used to wear number 22. And there we go. And he earned the right to get these stickies taken off. So welcome back, Brett. Brett's back.
That's so much fun. Shout out to Juan Soto though for finding out his dream car that he'd always talked about, like upgrading, still driving his Honda Civic or something from high school.
Yeah.
And I saw some people that didn't see the story that was like Juan Soto gets paid $760 million and the best that you can do is install. It's like,
a lot of that comes
it's what he wanted. Like, what are you doing?
That's
more important to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he would have said, I want a Corvette, it probably would have been a Corvette. But the fact that it was what it was, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And from that point on, we love nicknames in Metland. So he got him a Chevy Tahoe, which is a beautiful truck, and he souped it up. And he's been on fire ever since. So now it's no more Brett Beatty, it's Tahoe Beatty. So Well, we calling him Tahoe Beatty, and hopefully he keeps it, But maybe he's a late bloomer kind of situation. It's been a delight to see because I think I don't want to get into something long-winded, but Met fans have been pretty hard on him.
Wait, how old is Brett Beatty? Because in my brain, he's like 24. Is he?
Yeah,
is he older than that?
I think he is 24. I'm going on 25.
He is 25.
His
birthday was in August.
Okay.
Well, there's been, when in our like 2023, which is one of the worst years the organization's ever experienced. He was given like reps, and he was still a baby. He was 23 years old, and I mean the abuse he got was just out of this world, and it really, really mentally messed with him. And I think we have really learned our lesson of how to really appreciate these players, regardless if they're performing or not, and treating them the right way. So, like I was telling a lot of my fans today on my stream earlier, Brett Beatty's having a great spring, but let's not run him out of town after his first really bad slump. Let's be behind. He made the team for a reason. He didn't make the team because of a hot spring. He made the team because he's earned the right to be there, So let's support him through the good and the bad. And if it's all bad all year, then all right, we'll talk about it then. But Met fans, hopefully they're a lot better towards the kid this year. I'm hopeful for it.
Well, fingers crossed for that.
Mm-hmm. Part of the reason he's probably a big Chevy guy, probably a Tahoe guy. He's out of Round Rock, Texas.
He's a Texas guy. He's a Texas dude. Yeah, he's a big Texas guy. Yeah. So he's a cool kid, man. You know what's cool about him? Like you look at him and you kind of think, kind of quirky-ish. But then when you hear him talk and you kind of see him around the guys, like he's a dude, he's cool. He's a cool cat. I don't know. I think he gets a bad rap, but he's been the darling of many fans' eyes this spring. So long may he continue.
Well, good. Now let's move over to the official captain of Mets, Francisco Lindor.
The people's MVP.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm very, very, very in love with that man. I long for the day to meet him and thank him for everything. Honestly, that's all I can say. I'm so excited to watch him play baseball tomorrow. April's not a great month for him. He tends to really pace himself. A lot of Met fans still don't understand that. But I'm excited. We saw a different version of him last year, and I think the evolution of Francisco Lindor helped this organization grow, mature too. And now it's a lot more of a winning mindset and more serious mindset because he's become a leader. We still have our moments, we're not perfect, but because of him, we're a lot more of a serious franchise. And I thank him every day for that.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Because he could have been a diva, obviously got the big contract coming out of Cleveland, and not embraced, this organization, the city, and all he's done is basically go, no, this is my home, this is my city. I'm gonna ride till the wheels fall off. Yeah. And you look for that, and doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter what team. You look for those guys that are like, no. I bleed. For me, for football purposes, it's JJ Watt. He's that guy. Tuve's that guy for the Astros. Yeah. I think he would do anything and everything for the team in the city. Absolutely. And for me, that's Lindor for your Mets.
And I love that you pointed out the diva thing because he's openly said it took him a lot of lessons to realize that he actually was kind of moving like a diva. Like a diva when he first got here. So he had to grow up really fast in a really tough city, and he was young when he got that money. And first time he got paid, and it took him a while to understand. It's not New York is. We get a bad rap, but one thing I will say and be consistent about is we want to win, and we're a little bit hard when we don't win. We kind of lose our shit. So when he's smiling and when he's smiling and doing the whole and we're not in the postseason, that fans lose their shit. So he now he hits. Game-winning grand slams, and he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, no emotion at all. He's like, nope, until the game is over. When the game is over, then we'll jump up and down. Nope. He's he has nothing written on his. It's insane how you look at him from early days, and they called him Mr. Smile. He'll smile. He'll have fun. He'll smile with a good defensive play. That gets him really excited. But if he hits a big home run, he's like a stone cold, like no emotion until the game is over. So I do appreciate that. That's something new with him.
I appreciate that. Do you think the Mets are ever going to give him the actual C on his chest?
If I'm being honest with you, I would have done it already, but I think it's best for this organization to do 2 captains, because I do genuinely think they do have 2 captains in Brandon Nimmo and him. So it's weird. It'd be awkward, but I'm going to be honest with you. It'd be awkward for the Mets to do something normal.
Was David Wright the last player to wear the C?
Yeah. I think we have only 4 in our history. So they're really, very delicate with that. He's also openly said that only if they come to him, he's not going to ask for it. Only if the organization approaches him. And a lot of Met fans were like aiming on the calendar the anniversary. It was like a few days ago of when David Wright was announced it. It didn't happen. So I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Interesting. All right. Well, we're going to get to Nimmo, but I'm going to go around the plate first. So moving on to third base. Is that Mark Vientos?
Swaggy V, Mr. Mark Vientos. What a great story he is. I really, really, really love watching this young man develop. He was getting sent down to AAA after walk-off hits and walk-off home runs. And I'm telling you, no one understood it. And it just turned him into the demon that he needed to be. Glove is still a work in progress. It's not perfect, but he's getting better. It's serviceable. I actually think he's getting, like, the way his arm looked now compared to like maybe 2 years ago. I feel like he's very much improved his arm. Just the little nibblers, like between the catcher, pitcher, and third, like those are where you really can, exploit his athleticism. But he's a really good power bat. I hope he puts one in the Crawford box tomorrow. I really do. No offense, guys.
None taken. I mean, we're gonna absolutely root for some guys to do the exact same thing that are those type of guys, right? We have our own third baseman that is a Deadpool hitter that we're over there going, the Crawford boxes are built for you, baby.
Yeah, man.
I'll let Susie tee that up a little bit later.
We need to come up with a good name for those. The name that I came up with last night, not going to do it. So I need the people in chat to come up with a good name for what we call Isaac Paredes home runs in the Crawford boxes. Help me with that.
I'll think of one. I'll try and think of one for you.
Okay. So now we go over to your Gold Glove right fielder, Juan Soto.
Soon to be. He's not yet. Soon to be. He does not have one of those yet. Listen, if he wins a Gold Glove wearing this jersey, the people in the Bronx, they need to mute me, deactivate me, because I'm telling you, this is why I'm so high on Clay Holmes. If we start taking, now they used to be, for years, this whole little Big Brother shit is just from them, because we generally don't give a shit about what they do, but they love to remind us about shit we do. Oh, you guys take these Yankee scraps. Lately, that shit's been working. So you know what? The more Yankee scraps we get and we turn their trash into gold, it pisses them the fuck off. We do it with fucking Juan Soto. They still, he's not a good defender. So you know what, Susie? I don't give a shit about his offense this year. He wins a Gold Glove this year, I'm going to be a fucking menace. He probably won't even deserve it. They'll probably just give it to him because his name is Juan Soto. I don't give a fuck. It's still a Gold Glove with the Mets and not the fucking Yankees. And I'm fucking excited for that shit. But yeah, we spent a lot of money on him. Yeah, I'm very excited.
It's funny that you say that about the scraps, because I thought y'all got the best out of Sevy. I thought Sevy.
I want him back. Way better. Should never let him leave, brother. I want him back now
for the Yankees.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny, and I won't be too long. I'd say 85% of the Met fan base, and I was a part of it, loved Sean Manaea, rightfully so. He's just an organizational guy. Everything about him screams Mets. I love it here. I want to lead here. I want to win here, right? Sevy, just a pro, wants to go out there, do his job. Not quite the same vocal kind of guy, but does his job. Sevy ran into like a little bit more trouble than Manaea. Yes, Manaea was much more effective. But can I tell you, I saw some starts from Severino, and I'm like, you will never see that start in the Bronx. You will just he was doing things last year that I'm like, man, and that guy, they told us that guy sucks. Oh, he's always gonna get hurt, blah, blah, all this shit, Tom. And they, you know how they are. And I'm just like, I would have loved to just keep him here, just to keep reminding them, oh, look who we got, and whatever. He got the bag. I'm happy again. Happy you got the bag. Very interesting place to get the bag, but he got the bag. But nonetheless, he was like our ugly duckling. That black sheep of the family. He really was, because this is another thing in Metland, and I'll let you in on this. There is a portion of Met fans that, even though we do get Yankee scraps, that they just don't want it, no matter, even if it's Juan Soto. We had Met fans, I don't want him. Me, I was just doing the backwards karma shit, but oh no, he wore the pinstripes, I don't want him. Fuck that. Give me whatever they got. If they don't like it, bring it over here. And if it works, it works. You know what I'm saying? So back to Juan Soto. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we would ever pull the trigger on something like this. We did it. He has been sensational so far. I'm almost like numb. Not numb. I'm almost like still don't feel it being real until maybe I see him in Citi Field. I don't really have a lot of words for it, because it's very, very, very emotional for me, because I actually feel like maybe the Mets, all the shit that the Mets have gotten wrong, they finally may have gotten it right for once. And it still is a risk with what they did for the organization. But when you start to get to know your players, when they're on your team, you start hearing, interviews and things like that. And it's just like, you start forgetting that he costs so much money, because he's such an amazing guy. Like, the guy literally, he loves his family. He just wants to go play baseball and come home, hug his mom, hug his dad, and go to sleep. And it's like, what guy you pay that much money for just wants to do that? And it doesn't even feel right. So I'm very grateful. I'm going to appreciate every at-bat and every fly ball he catches, because we paid a hefty price for it. So I'm very excited for it.
All right. So your center fielder that the Astros fans should be familiar with, Jose Siri.
Rayo. Okay, so you guys know more. Clearly, he's a world champion with you guys, if I'm not mistaken, right? He won a world championship with the Astros.
Yeah.
I am more happier to see how he can shut a lot of these. There's a lot of I didn't know this guy had so many haters, by the way, because I know not like that though. Like, there's people that just don't like him for, I guess, whatever, the fighting and the feistiness and shit, whatever.
Pimping the home runs.
Right. The pimping of, but like, I start hearing shit. Oh, he can't bat 200. And I'm so hyped for him to it is weird. I've never thought I'd say this, Tom. I'm so hyped for him to bat 215, because I'm going to throw a party for it. I'm so excited for him to bat 215. He batted like 180 last year. So to me, 215 is like his 260. So there's so many Mets fans.
We got one of those. We got one of those, but a way less electric version of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Way less.
I will say this: Series electric, but you know right off the rip what you're getting. Home run, great defense, good speed, and that's it. Like, don't expect him to. I mean, he works a walk. Go play lotto, honestly. Like, it's 1 in 1 million. He's not going to get on base a lot. He's just a fun defender. And whatever he gives you in the outfield, just take it. I hope to God he bats 215. That's my goal for him, which is wild to say for any baseball player in this day and age. But it's going to be hard for him to do it. Citi Field's a tough park to hit in. So we'll see. But I'm excited that we got a really good defender like that. I think we need that in our like center field. Our center field is really wide.
Oh yeah, he's gonna run all the shit down.
And he's also too, to be honest with you, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it helps Juan Soto. Absolutely, it's almost like Juan Soto insurance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Tom, why do you hate him? Talk to me.
I can't. You take the name, you take the flash, you take it away. He's a bad baseball player.
Yeah.
And you talk about 215. It's so funny that you picked 215 as a number, because his spring he was 214. So he's not off to a good start.
It was like 183 he batted last year. So I'm like, ugh, man.
But that's who he is.
Yeah, no.
And it's like he hits a dinger. He makes a great defensive play. You're like, wow, it's a great player. Mm-hmm. And then you take that away, and it's a guy. I'm just going to use the spring training numbers. He had 9 hits and 15 Ks. Like, anytime you needed that guy, like it was almost like he was a nice insurance thing to have. But like at no point in time were you like going, man, I just need Jose Siri at the plate with a chance. like that's the last guy you're asking for. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to look for like a name for him, but like I was talking with my brother about it. He is like the anti-analytical guy. Like he's just anti-analytical. He's not gonna get on base. He's not gonna see many pitches. It's just literally a home run or nothing. That's it. Like he's like diabetic Kyle Schwarber. Like, but Kyle Schwarber gets on base, so it's weird. It's like he's literally there just to play defense and cover for Juan Soto. Anything you get out of him, like we got serviceable numbers from Harrison Bader last year, so if he can near them, I guess we'll hope and pray. But I think they're banking on just great defense. Honestly.
Yeah, you didn't get Jose Siri for his bat at no point in time. Like if he runs into one, great. That is.
How long you guys had him? How long? How many years?
2 years, but he was in our minor league system. Like he came up with us.
Yeah.
But like this is a career 210 hitter. But you have Astros fans that were in love with his flash and his style and the pivot of the home runs. And it was like very Martin Maldonado of him. Like, like the one time he made a play, look, there's that guy. And then the other 90% of the time, they deer in the headlights look the other way. And I'm like, he was a bad baseball player. I'm not going to knock his defense. I think his defense is good. Sometimes I think he pimps that too, which you take that however you want. As long as you don't make a mistake, you can do that. The first time he boots one, then it's not going to look that cool. And he went to Tampa and he was just kind of like, he'd have like very streaky. Like a week, he'll go nuts. And then the next 3 weeks of that month, he'll be very ugly. And for me, if you took his name off, if you took like everything that you saw away, you're trying to get that dude as far away from your baseball club as you can. But El Rayo gets you hype. And then it's like, okay, I'm good.
It's a vibes play too.
But you know why he got traded though. Do you not remember that, Tom?
Why did he get traded?
Dusty Baker wasn't having none of that pimping shit on his baseball team.
But I mean,
not none of it.
Well, it's funny, like not to interrupt, but you guys remember he almost started a fight with us when last time we were down there. You guys remember that? Eduardo Escobar was like this. It was hilarious, but he had hit his second home run of the game. I mean, he hit a fucking nuke. But he really pimped the shit out of it, and the Mets were mad about it. But for a while, I didn't forget that. I was like, this fucking guy. And then I was like,
now he's your center fielder.
I was like, this guy can't fucking hit. This guy sucks. So I just would trash him, occasionally. And then I'm like, oh, he's my center fielder now. So, El Rayo, let's see what we get. Let's see. It's going to be, I think that's definitely going to be a roller coaster. Definitely going to be a roller coaster. But he can't do that booting shit. And our center field is really wide. He has to show me the defense,
Yeah, 100%. The defense wasn't the problem. It was the fact that he was pimping home runs, and he was I don't want to say a less flashy version of Jazz, but essentially that was the issue. Like he had the chains, he was that guy. He was, pimping home runs, and he was the feisty motherfucker on the field that if you're going to start a fight, he's sprinting in from center field. Like he's gonna be in the middle of that shit.
That's also too like a worry of mine personally, because I know there's a lot of Met fans that are like, oh my God, we're gonna get into a few. I'm like, I don't really want to get into any fights. We paid $800 for a guy. I don't want like nobody to step on his feet. So why do we?
Juan Soto ain't gonna be.
No, I know that, but I'm just like I don't want no one getting like. What are we? That's not. I want to win a baseball game. I don't give a fuck.
But like Jesse Winker is your guy that's gonna be talking the shit.
No one's gonna fight him. No one's gonna fight him. Like people are like genuinely terrified. They think that he's the Undertaker. Like people are terrified of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like all the teams need like an asshole, and Jesse Winker is the Mets asshole. Like that is his role on the team. What's the thing in hockey? The enforcer? Is that that's the thing? Like Jesse Winker is the enforcer of like the Mets.
We've lacked that for a very long time. So that is his role. Yes, correct.
And so like Jesse Winker and you got Jose Siri, like Bash Brothers together, that is if shit goes down, those are the two.
Yeah, Pete Alonso can't fight, so
no,
we've seen Pete Alonso try, and we don't want to. That's a bad sight. So at least we got a little backup for him.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I'll say about Jose Siri, the thing that bothers me the most, he doesn't steal any bags. To be that fast, he should steal a ton of bags. You know what his career high?
It's like 14, right?
It's 14. It's 14. And
because he doesn't get on base, Tom.
But that's
never
my
on base to steal bags.
But that's my thing. Look, if you're not a great hitter, work a walk. I get it. Okay, go steal a bag.
It's crazy. He can be a sub 200 hitter and have a 2020 season, which is incredible, in my opinion. And incredible in a way where it's not like, oh my God, it's more of a like, how the fuck, like, wow, like to say you're a 2020 guy and you're barely batting 200. It's actually like, what the fuck, like how, which I guess why he still has a job, why people are willing. I mean, we're paying like $2 million for him, but I mean, like we didn't necessarily, say, oh, we want to keep Harrison Bader. We were like, no, we went and got Jose Siri immediately. So the Mets, I think the Mets are banking on one thing about the Mets. They're trying their best to bank on this clubhouse being able to change a lot of the guys who are new to it. Will it work? We'll see.
True. I am blanking on your left fielder.
His name is Brandon Nimmo.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Why did I think Brandon Nimmo was center field for a while? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Last 2 years he's transitioned to a left fielder. Yeah.
Okay. And did he get the big contract, or was that McNeil? Or did they both get big contracts?
They both got. In my opinion, I think they both got big contracts. But Nimmo got the long be a Met for life contract.
Okay.
Yeah, he got like 6 or 7 more years, something like that.
He's the Wyoming guy, Nebraska.
One of them. Wyoming is right. Yeah.
Wyoming. Okay, I was like one of those. Correct. One of those.
It's one of. I think you're correct. If it's not Wyoming, it's near Colorado. Because growing up, he was a Rockies fan.
Okay, so but is it Nimmo hurt too? No.
No. Well, Nimmo is one of those situations where they don't want him to get hurt.
Okay.
So they're babying him, which I think is more of a risk. But hey, that's just me. They are guiding him along. He's gonna be in left field tomorrow, so he'll be by the Crawford boxes. And Jesse Winker can fill in if they need to have him take a day off, or if they want to play Tyrone Taylor, who's our fourth outfielder. He has plantar fasciitis, which is something I actually have. So I understand what he goes through. Oh, you have it too? Yeah, it sucks. Do you roll your foot with the ice or the ball?
I used to. It was a golf ball you put in the freezer.
Yep.
Got away from that. I KT tape, orthotics. Way to
go. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you do, like Tom says and suggests, if you do it often, and mind you, we're not professional baseball players, so they got way better care than us. If you're just on top of it, it won't become a thing. But if you're not on top of it, Tom will tell you it sucks. When you wake up in the morning, your foot is literally on fire.
That first step, the worst.
So you know what I do, Tom? Now I actually have a specific ice pack I found on Amazon for your feet, and I keep it frozen. So the first thing I do when I wake up, I go to the freezer and I put my foot into the foot freezer pack or whatever, and that's how I have to start my day. And then I'm good. I don't have to roll the ball anymore. I was doing the ball thing, but after a while, you just tend to it doesn't really work after a while. It kind of gets you through it, but yeah, so ice helps. But yeah, he has plantar fasciitis. He's okay. He's fine.
Hold on. None of y'all motherfuckers are stretching your calves? Are you not stretching?
When you're diagnosed with it, you have no choice but to stretch. It's to keep it from hurting. You're going to live with it. You're not curing the issue. You're just maintaining its pain management. There's no cure for plantar fasciitis.
It's like, well, I think what they say is over time, if you keep working at it, eventually that tear will heal. But it's so long, because you're constantly on your feet, you're constantly moving around and re-stretching and tearing. You know what I mean? You just can't lay up forever and ever and ever. I actually read that the ball thing doesn't actually help as much.
That's why
because you're doing more damage and not giving that a chance to heal. That's why I really got on the tape thing to kind of help that. And for me, instead of doing the ice in the morning, I tape before I go to bed. So when I wake up, it kind of like locks it in. Not as good, but it's definitely where it's at. I know this has nothing to do with the Mets and the Astros, but for people with plantar fasciitis, you'll understand.
Well, I'm glad you have it, because when I tell my Met fans I have it and I tell them all this stuff, it's like, yeah. No, fucker, it hurts. Like, it's no joke. So it really does burn. Like, what the fuck? You wake up and your foot is like what the fuck is going on? But then if you know how to handle it and maintain it, it becomes a lot less of an issue. But, you know, this is a professional baseball player with top end trainers, but his job is to stand on his fucking feet a lot of the time. So he needs round the clock care. So that's why they're very cautious with him. And he's probably going to DH more than he wants to, because, you know, a lot of these players hate DHing, a lot of them. But he will have to DH a little bit just to, you know, hey, you know, Brandon, it's all right. He almost had a cycle the other day in spring, so he's good. Yeah, he's okay. He's all right.
So you guys don't have a quote unquote dedicated DH. Your DH is kind of the get the player off his feet kind of.
Well, right now you can argue like our rotation. We have a committee at DH. So against the lefties, I would assume tomorrow against Framber, Starling Marte is going to be in there. He's pretty good in his career against left-handed pitching. And I believe for the other two games, that's when you'll see, I call him the Wink Man, Mr. Jesse Winker. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Jesse Winker gets left field maybe Sunday. Because Griffin Canning isn't a ground ball pitcher like McGill is. McGill's more of a strikeout ground ball kind of guy. So Griffin Canning more of a flyout kind of guy. So I wouldn't be shocked if to keep Brandon Nimmo from running for fly balls, they'll throw Jesse Winker out there. Wouldn't shock me. Or Tyrone Taylor, who is our fourth outfielder.
Okay.
To your point, Starling Marte's got some of the best numbers against Framber out of the whole team. He's 4 for 15 with 2 singles, 2 doubles. Your Vientos call for a homer is actually really good. The only Met on the squad with a homer against Framber, Mark Vientos.
I might throw $5 on that tomorrow. Now that you say that, I didn't even know that. Look at that. Let's all do it. Maybe we all get like, you know, free lunch.
Winker's got good numbers against him too. He's 2 for 4. So
Winker is like, it's the weirdest shit. Like Winker would probably have a 300 average against Clayton Kershaw and like never hit Griffin Canning or some shit like that. That's just Winker. You know, he's a very unique cat, but that makes a lot of sense. So you guys, real quick, I have to ask. My only worry with you guys is I've been telling people Houston's not as bad as what people think. I don't know. Some people think that Houston took a step back. I'm like, motherfucker, it's Houston. Stop it. Mind you, I'm around a lot of Yankee fans. You gotta understand. Like you hear
they're hurt.
Yeah, you hear some shit with these fucking people. But anyways, the only thing, and I during the winter, I was like, if Pete leaves, okay. But I was like, I'm cool with Christian Walker. Like I am a very big Christian. That is documented on my Twitter. I love Christian Walker. But then I see the oblique, and he has a history with the oblique. How is he doing? And like just overall opinions on Christian Walker.
I love Christian Walker. I loved Christian Walker from his D-back days because I've seen the motherfucker play. Like I have watched him with my own 2 eyes on the D-backs. And I'm thrilled that we got him. And another reason why I'm thrilled we got him is because he's patient at the plate.
Oh, he's a hell of a pro. Hell yeah.
Are very long, and that's something that this organization has gone away from. And between him and Isaac Paredes, I think Isaac Paredes is the peskiest hitter in the entire league. Like literally,
if I'm not mistaken, the stat with him, he saw the most pitches in all of baseball last year. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
And I want to say Christian Walker is in top 10.
Really? Wow, that's fucking awesome. So, I'll tell you this. I know it doesn't matter for you guys, but the reason why I really wanted Christian Walker, because obviously great defender, great hitter. He is a Dodger killer, so that's really why I wanted him. He's a fucking I really was like, yo, let's go get as many Dodger killers as you can get. But anyways.
Also that. Because I watched him in that Dodger series just park him over the I was like, that's gonna be beautiful. That is going to be a beautiful World Series rematch. And I'm going to love that so much.
Now let us meet y'all. Let they don't need no more of that. They got it. They got the whole other continent watching the sport. They accomplished their goals already. Like they're good. You know, like they're good. They did what they needed to do. Let's let the afterpay folks. You know, like the guy layaway guys. Let us do it.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. You mentioned the oblique. He said that the oblique injury that he had or whatever was not as bad as they thought it was going to be. He will be in the opening day lineup. Tom brought up a really good point last night that now that Zach DeZenzo made the team, one of our young studs, if Cam Smith wasn't doing the numbers that he was doing, you guys would be hearing a whole hell of a lot more about Zach DeZenzo. Mm-hmm. So if Mets fans are, they see Zach DeZenzo and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? That's Cam Smith.
You won't get him on your fantasy team because Susie's already got him. But, if you're not in this league.
Thank you for the insider right here. I didn't know about this young man. I will say Cam Smith, I knew way before you even traded for him because if you rewind a year, like around this time last year, Vientos wasn't a thing yet. So I was like, let's draft the best third baseman in the draft. It was Cam Smith. I studied him. I was like, yo, I don't see nothing wrong with him, whatever. So when I found out that he was going to the Cubs, I was like, that sucks because it's a National League team. Then I found out you traded Kyle Tucker for him. And I'm like, well, if Kyle Tucker, regardless if it's a rental, gets traded for Cam Smith, then I know Cam Smith is going to be good. And look where we are.
Yeah. Yeah. So Zach DeZenzo is going to be our backup first baseman since we got rid of John Singleton, which RIP. John.
I saw that. I was saying they're probably really happy about that.
From a personal standpoint, absolutely not. Loved Big John. Absolutely loved him. From a baseball standpoint, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you needed. I feel like for a long time, you guys needed like a first baseman like that. Those Jose Abreu years are kind of.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a hot minute since we've had a really good first baseman.
Yeah,
a hot minute, and I'm talking like Yuli fell off. Yuli fell off hardcore, and so it has been since probably like.
Wait, so you had Yuli? Didn't you have Abreu too?
Mm-hmm.
After
Singleton, and then John Singleton, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have Christian Walker.
Oh, so you know what? Good for you. You finally got your guy. That's good.
So
we differ on Big John though. Susie felt like Big John with enough at bats could be good. I always thought he was, very streaky, Jose Siri-esque, run into one, pimp job up there equal, solid defender, not bad. But
will John take his walks though? Will John take his walks? Will he work his walks? Yes, he will. He was patient, more patient at the plate than 75% of this lineup.
Is he cut, or is he in your minor league system?
Nope.
All the way gone.
Cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, like Christian Walker, $60 million. So somebody had to go. It is what it is, right?
Yeah. So Zach DeZenzo will probably be his backup. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, Tom brought this up last night that we take it a little slower with Christian Walker and Zach DeZenzo gets his at bats because
you got to go the Met way, and the Met way is pretty much fuck April. That's how I'm viewing it. Like, who gives a shit about April? Which I don't like. It bothers me quite a bit, but yeah. I totally get it.
Oh,
we did that last year. I don't know that anybody wants to do that again.
Listen,
sucks, man.
I was over here not last season, but in 23, losing my ever loving fucking mind in the late April when we lost games, And this motherfucker over here is like, Susie, it is April. Can you just chill the fuck out? No, absolutely the fuck not. I cannot. And then what happened, Tom? What happened? At the end of the season, it came back and bit us in the ass. Did it not?
Were they still there? Were they still there at the end?
Yeah, you still face Texas. You had the opportunity to.
You were still there. Yeah. Last year, same thing. Slow start. The sky is falling. Susie, chill. We'll be good.
You won the division, right? Didn't you win the division in 23?
Exactly. It's not. She's not. There's a different level, right? When you've seen it and you know that the talent's there.
Do I want to go 162 and 0? Yes, fuckers. Yes, I do. Okay. However, I am a realist and I know that we can't do 162 and 0. All right. I know that. But when we start out 12 and 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was tough.
That's tough. I mean, to win the division, like that's pretty impressive.
But there was a lot of things that were going against the Astros too. They had a brutal start to the season schedule-wise. They threw Yankees out the gate and they lost there. Braves, I think, early lost there. There was a bunch of really good teams they faced early. And then it was like, look, chill. They haven't even gotten into a division yet. They had, the AL Central, which is not that strong. There's going to be a moment where they figure it out. They did, and the rest is history. I mean, now, if you'd have told me they were losing to bad teams and then had to play juggernauts, then you're kind of like, well, shit, we're kind of in a bad spot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I remember series where the Reds fucking swept us. Okay, so yeah, Mm-hmm.
Well, I have one last question for you guys. Like, we can't end this without this because I have questions. It's the same question, but on repeat. Left field Altuve, walk me through this, please. I beg, because I'm trying to have open mind here.
Would you like me to go? Or would you like to
go for it?
Whoever.
All right. It's very, very simple. The Astros knew that they were gonna try to acquire infielders. In my mind, they knew. And it was like, I think Tuve said, hey, whatever the team needs, I'll do. He's always been that guy. Whatever the team needs, I don't care. He's swallowing his pride to go play left field. There's at no point in time do I think Tuve was like, you know what? I can play any position on this fucking field.
You know what would be fun?
Yeah.
Let's go out
here. Let's go out here and shag balls, right? Like, no, absolutely fucking not. But Tuve's like, look, I want to win. I'm here till I'm done. What do you need? You know, and they said, how do you feel about left field? And you go look at the depth that the Astros have. They could have went out and signed somebody, but they thought, in my mind, and I think in manager's mind, hey, we can go trade for somebody. Maybe we bring back Bergman. Obviously, you know, they've got a surplus of infielders now. Guillorme's in Sugarland, and I thought Guillorme played well. I think if Guillorme wanted to, he probably could go catch on somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could do that with what he did in spring. But I think he sees, the Astros on, like, I'm an injury away from being a starter somewhere, you know. So I think that they saw that. They got some guys in their minor league system that I think that they thought was going to be able to do, you know, things. I believe initially that they contemplating playing Isak at second and playing Cam at third. But then when Brendan Rodgers became a thing, because Brendan Rodgers reached out to the Astros, he went to his agent and said, hey, there's a hole there. I want to go play there.
Really?
And yeah. A lot of people don't know that backstory, which I thought was really cool.
Very,
yeah. This is a Gold Glove second baseman going, no, I want a shot to go play there. And that kind of changed the narrative, right? So then at first they were like, well, we're going to try it. And then as more things happen, he's just going to be our left fielder. And Tuve, like I said, the ultimate professional. They're going to build a statue in front of friggin' Dyken Park of him. It's not going to be very tall, but it's going to be him.
It's going to be life size.
It's going to be authentic. and it's because of that move. You know, it's not, I don't think he's going to play Gold Glove left field. I don't think he's going to be the worst left fielder. I think he's going to make plays. I think when you look at some of the other guys that they've put out there, you know, that don't have the arm, that don't have great range, you're not losing a ton. And the bat is what you're after. They're gambling that they're going to be able to out hit some people.
You want to hear the bet the internal bet us Met fans on Queens baseball have for Altuve? You know, like this one.
I love it. Let's do it.
Better defensive metrics than Jason Dominguez in left field.
Oh,
is that legit or is that Yankee hate?
No, well, both. I mean, come on. I'm genuinely interested if Jose Altuve has a better defensive metrics than Jason Dominguez, then conversations are needed. That's all I'm going to say. Conversations are needed. But anyways, please continue.
Well, so here's the thing. The other thing about our short king, whom we love, and I will ride and die.
He's probably the short king, you could argue.
Yes. His defensive metrics at second base are not great. Not great at all. Possibly the worst defensive second baseman in the sport, like negative 14 outs.
No.
I mean,
I don't think he's the worst.
I mean,
one
of the worst. I hate to use the word, but yeah. I would say that.
Not great. Not great. Okay. So the fact that both Fromber and Hunter are predominantly ground ball pitchers. We had a big old hole at first base defensively. Really, third base, Jeremy Pena was kind of, and Jeremy Pena's defense has gone down over the years as well. So the fact that we didn't have any defense on that side of the field, not a great look. And now you're going to tell me that I have a Gold Glove second baseman. I had the chance to have a Gold Glove second baseman and a Gold Glove first baseman with predominantly 1 and 2 pitchers being ground ball pitchers. Sign me up.
Also, too, I mean, small left field, so not much ground for him, right? No, that's the Crawford boxes are short, so
yeah.
I just
is it weird?
I don't want him to. I guess I don't want him to get hurt. That's my thing. He's a little guy,
We're not putting that out. We're not putting that out into the ether.
We're not, but you're putting him out there to play baseball. That's the thing. I'm not doing it,
Listen, I want them to pad the Crawford boxes. Like, you have no idea. Like, just print the out of town scoreboard on some, like, on the green padding with with the white paint, and just it doesn't need to be hard out there. No, thank you. It doesn't.
I wish him well. I'm a fan. Yeah. I wish him
well. But another thing is, though, like, he's such an athlete, though, and really playing out there and learning a new position has really invigorated him, has kind of like reignited his, again, I don't want to say love for baseball, but you get a little bored after 14 years of playing second base. So the fact that he's learning something new, like, you can see the wheels turning in his brain. Like, you can see the squirrels running.
It's a good example for the other guys too.
He's out there. Like, I mean, he's out there at, like, when they're doing batting practice, he's out there shagging balls. Getting extra practice, and it's not going to be a great look for the first couple of months, but I guarantee you he's going to be making some plays, and you're going to be like, that's a five-star play. And that's apparently another reason why we're keeping Jake Myers around in center field, is to help Jose Altuve.
I mean, odder things have happened, so you know what? Wish him well. You guys tend to figure shit out better than most. It's probably why a lot of people hate your team. So I like to like praise good baseball. So you guys figure something out with that. I mean, hey, we got a reliever starting tomorrow. So
listen, between your reliever starting tomorrow and 2 brand new corner outfielders, one who's never played a minor league game in our system, it's gonna be a good time.
How cool is that? It's fucking awesome, right? Like this, like we have young players we get excited for, and I feel like with him, it was like, and we played you guys like 30 times in spring. There's no Met fan that does not know who Cam Smith is. You know what I'm trying to say? So like you're sitting there like, yo, they got something there. They definitely got something there.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a lot of fun watching Cam Smith. I need all the Astros fans watching. I need you guys to temper your excitement. And I need you to realize that when the book is out on him in 2 months and they quit throwing Cam Smith 4-seamers and he's got a cold streak going, I need you guys to not freak the fuck out and say that we need to send him back to Sugarland. I'm also telling myself that because
you will lead that camp.
No, I won't. Because I genuinely like Cam Smith. But the fact that Cam Smith did so well, that knocked Chas McCormick out of a job, essentially. So.
Oh, I know you. That's your dude, right?
Let Chas chomp, baby.
All right. Like,
that is my guy. And I love Chas McCormick. And he had a horrible year last year. And so, but I need all the Astros fans to just chill. Because it's going to happen. It is going to happen. The odds of
he's a
Cam
kid.
Smith sucking for a couple months until he makes the adjustment again, it's going to happen. So just temper. Everybody needs to temper. That's what I'm going to say.
I saw real quick before I guess this ends. You guys saw that tweet going around of that guy, Cam Smith will never. Did you guys see that tweet? It went viral. There was some guy. There's a guy in Astros Twitter. His avatar is like orange and his face is in it. He has like
Schwab.
Yeah, so he went at some guy, but he was in the right. He went at some guy that stated Cam Smith will never make the majors or something. And he retweeted that tweet and it went like super viral. And he was like, so like update or some shit. I was like, oh, you got him. It's Cam Smith made the team. So
yeah. So the guy, okay, so I now am familiar with what you're going at. So first off, Michael Schwab is a fucking idiot. Like, I don't understand how in the fuck, because he like literally he has nothing. Like he doesn't really have a podcast. He doesn't write for any outlets. I have no
we got those two
idea like where, like how the fuck Michael Schwab is integrated into the Astros system at all, but like for some reason he does, and I don't understand it. The guy that he went at, is that 790 or 610?
Who?
The guy that Michael Schwab went at. What, isn't he one of the morning show guys?
Wasn't it Lalima?
No, it wasn't Lalima.
Kind of a chubby dude. He was like a chubby-ish dude.
Oh.
It wasn't Lalima. But it was one of the. We have two different sports talk radios, and it was one of the either the morning show or the afternoon show. He's one of the hosts of that show.
Adam Spolane.
That's who it is.
That's who it was.
Yeah. So I think that's 610, but I'm not positive on that. Yeah. So, anyways, so the fact that like it's a bigger quote unquote Houston name, like that's on the radio, I think that's where it got a little bit more juice, was because it was a bigger name and like Schwab was going at it, which again I don't really fucking understand because Schwab ain't fucking shit. But I digress. So, but yeah, it's the fact that like Cam Smith did all of these things and exceeded all the expectations. And when I say exceeded expectations, I'm not talking like the expectations were not low. Like the expectations were through the fucking roof, you know, and Espada, Dana Brown, they weren't going to put him on the team just by his performance on the field. That helped. That definitely helped. But it was the demeanor in the clubhouse and the way he acted around the guys, the questions that he asked, his attitude, his work ethic. That's what really like kind of pushed everything over the top. And the fact that, you know, like we switched him to right field like 3 weeks before, you know, opening day, like should tell you like how confident the organization is with him. Like not to crater his confidence, because like that would be a really big thing, you know, like have a whole Jackson Holiday situation again. And honestly, even I kind of feel like even if he does for some reason like just absolutely, you know, go like I don't know, like 2 for 100 or whatever, and Joe says, okay, you know what, like we're gonna send you back to AAA, AA. I don't understand why AA apparently has better pitching than AAA. Someone tell me about that. But they send him back, gets a little bit more, seasoning or whatever. I think he has the mindset where it's not going to shake his confidence. He's gonna realize that's just part of the game. They've adjusted. I need to make the adjustment now. Let me go get it. He kind of has that like Mark Vientos kind of energy to him.
Nice. Yeah, I love everything I see. He looks like a major leaguer. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I hoping that he sucks? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But that it is what it is. Like that's what happens. Like he comes up. Nobody has the book on him. He knows kind of what's gonna be thrown at him. He's gonna rock for like 2 months. Mm-hmm. And then the league is going to make the adjustment, and now he's going to make the adjustment back, and that's where we're going to see, where the rubber meets the road. Is that the euphemism? Is that the saying that I want? Yeah. So
what I love about him, he's got a real short, compact swing. He looks a lot like Carlos Correa, and like when you're not, there's not that big hole. I mean,
that's what she said.
I really feel like his swing kind of like helps him. To where I don't think he needs to like, he's not out there trying to hit homers. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. Like he's literally hitting for average. Nice. And when you see a guy do that, I feel like that's going to help you be kind of like slump proof where, okay, I'm still going to find a single here or something like that, to keep the things going and only time will tell. But I think the real reason he's on the team more than anything is the team wanted him. You heard Tuve talk about him. You heard all these guys talk about him like, yo, this kid's legit. And rather than waste him in the minors, let's get him here now.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, another point that I really liked about him, he took his walks. He took his walks. He was patient at the plate. And the fact that he made those decisions to not swing at those pitches, that's what I really liked about him. Like, I think his first game, he had 2 walks. Like his first 2 at bats were walks. And I like some of those strikeouts that he had were literally like on the paint. Like the pitcher made a pitch or the umpire fucked up. Like some of those were called looking and it should have been a ball. So the fact that he's patient at the plate and that he knows what he can swing at and like knows what he can hit, that's what I really like too. So he's not trying to hit dingers all the time. And I really appreciate that.
He's ready for the show.
You think so?
You're ready for the show, and I'm ready for tomorrow.
I am too.
Let's go.
Keith, tell the peoples where they can find you on the interwebs.
On the interwebs, I am on Twitter and on X. Our podcast, Shay and Sons Podcast, is on YouTube. It's called Shay and Sons, similar to Bourbon and Ball. And you can find me kicking it with Keith on Twitter, talking about the Mets. I will be live streaming or doing my little own watch party tomorrow. Excited. Happy to be in Houston. I think very good test for the Mets. And let's see. I mean, both teams have a very unique approach to start to the season. And I think both teams will definitely benefit from a nice, good early test in the season. So I'm excited. Can't wait. And yeah, man. And listen, I hope everyone stays healthy. Our guys, your guys. And yeah, fuck the Yankees, fuck the Phillies, fuck the Braves. You guys can say fuck the Rangers. I don't have no beef with the Rangers, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? I guess fuck them, right? Why not?
Yes. Right? Yes. We definitely, anytime you play the Rangers and the Mariners, we just beat up on them.
One of my hot takes this year. Figured I'd share with you. A's better record than Seattle. That's a hot take I have this year.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know how they finish, but A's will have a better record than Seattle.
Side note, look at the Seattle Mariners pitching, home versus away numbers.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. 100%. Yeah. It's all fool's gold. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So the 102 of you that are still chilling with us, all 2 hours and 18 minutes. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I'm very sorry that we kept you for so long, Keith. You are on the East Coast, and so it's very late there. I apologize.
I'm off tomorrow, so you got me at a good time.
Perfect. Perfect. So if you guys have not already subscribed to the YouTubes, please hit that red button. It is free. We're not big time like Keith over here doing super chats. Like you can talk to us for free. Okay, like that's all fine.
All right. We gotta pay for Juan Soto somehow.
Right? I ain't hating. So if again you guys have not subscribed, please hit that red button. If you guys like the content, if you are not an Astros fan, that is okay, because guess what? We have another show. It's called Bourbon and Baseball, All the Balls Edition, and we talk about all the teams. That does include the Mets. There is a lot of shit talking on the Yankees, just saying. So if you're not an Astros fan, go watch that show. We are a good time over there as well. Tom, tell the peoples where they can find you on the interwebs.
On Twitter at Third Coast Tom, on Instagram at TCTom1, and absolutely on YouTube on Bourbon and Baseball.
So with that, we are going to wrap it up and say goodbye and good night and happy, technically, Baseball Eve.
Amen.
No, is it? Well, it's opening day for you, technically, not here yet. So I'm going to say, yay, baseball, and stream.